motor can take a lot more air, so you have to start putting a lot more fuel to it, which makes a lot more horsepower. So it ought to get really, really good by later tonight.
Speaking of putting a lot of fuel to it, DJ, listening to James, he's in heaven this weekend. He is full bore, ready to rock, and I love seeing James Essex in James Essex mode.
There is nothing
You mean I wasn't last weekend?
There's
right?
nothing I like more
I
than
wasn't
James
last weekend
Essex
in full mode.
Unleashed.
I don't think he ever went to bed from last weekend. I think the richest Jackson 100 ever, he just stayed up all week, came right to Eldora, got the party going last night. James, I actually laughed at your Super Stock Night in America post last night, as it was a well-warranted, great show last night, and it's exciting to be here tonight.
How about Mikey Marlar last week at Brownstown? You interviewed him in Victory Lane, very emotional. It's been a rough year. He's the first to admit it. But is there a better guy that just keeps his head up and just, he doesn't get too down on it? He knows he's been in this a long time that, man, and he could win this race tomorrow night.
Well, and he's long overdue for one at Eldora, and yeah, I got 2 hugs from Mikey last weekend. That was 2 more hugs than I've ever got from Mikey. He was very excited to be here today. And guys, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Dirt Draft Hot Labs making the way to the Speedway.
Give a shout out to you and I. Well, to me,
yes.
you and I have known him, well, since the Battle of the Bluegrass days, as he mentioned, winning that steel block Hillbilly Wonder. How about the 11R car? Let's go over the James Rice car, Robert Sterrett, the owner of that car. He hasn't raced for a while now, and there's his brother, Josh Rice. And tell us a little bit about the chassis combos they've got going on this weekend there, and that Rick Jones number 11 there for Josh Rice, this year's Northern All-Star champion for the 2nd year in a row.
So Josh Rice in the Rocket this weekend, James Rice in the Longhorn this weekend. There you go.
The Rice brothers.
that is correct.
And by the way, they are in this first group.
They are now at Crittenden, Kentucky, by the way. Is Josh Rice, at least. James, I think, still calling Verona home. There's Nick Hoffman. Good year for him. The Mooresville, North Carolina driver, 3rd in the Outlaws point standings. 9 wins on the year for the Ty Torrigo Clemens-powered Longhorn, as he, like a lot of drivers, supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month, going pink on the side of that race car. Behind him, Dennis Erb Jr., former Outlaws champ, former Dirt Late Model Dream winner in the Vomac Truck Sales McBride Mac Clemens-powered Rocket chassis for the 28.
Also out there, Clay Harris. He'll finish 2nd in this year's O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase. Right there, the number 6 car. Brian Green turning the wrenches on that Ken Harris-owned car. Mike Spatola coming off a Kokomo Clash win last weekend out of Manhattan, Illinois in car 89. Also, Corey Lawler in the Sunoco Ratios Dry 93 Poncho's Racing Products car. There's the 69 car. Former PPMS track champion Johnny Huck, John Hotchkiss out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hudson O'Neill defending Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion there in the SSI Motorsports number 71. There's Devin Shields, 5-time Attica Raceway Park track champion out of Britain, Michigan, the 44-year-old, and the Rally's Hamburgers, Sail and Bind Trucking and Excavating sponsored number 51.
Garrett Alvarez there, the Nutranac Solutions Romer Machine and Welding 58 car. Ben, yes.
Yeah, a couple of notes there. Just want to note, no track title this year for Mike Spatola at Fairbury. I believe McKay Winger got that title, but we've seen Spatola turn it up late in the year. Even got a Dirt Kings win up at Sycamore, and of course he won in Kokomo last week. Also, talked to the Rice brothers down there today. They actually brought 2 rockets here this weekend, a little bit of a change up. So James in a rocket as well, and it's great to see him back here at Eldora Speedway.
There we go. Stand corrected.
Inside information, absolutely.
There's the number 1 car, the Valvoline Swiper Calf Ranch's number 1. That'll be Tim McCready. 2-time Lucas Oil champion. He has never won the Dirt Track World Championship race. There's the Big Perm, the Ratliff Racing 18D, the JRR Motors Sales Innovative Community Solutions entry out of Fayetteville, North Carolina for Dalton Wilson.
He'll be followed by the driver of the Paylor Motorsports, number 93. That is Carson Ferguson. He was here last year, by the way, James, in this event, got 14th. And Franklin Enterprises Clemens-powered Longhorn for the Lincolnton, North Carolina driver. Behind him in number 21B out of Sheffield, Illinois, that's going to be Rich Bell, the 2021 Sunoco American Late Model Series champion, the Ryan-powered Bob Pierce race car for Rich Bell. James,
I haven't seen him in here at Eldora for a while.
It's been a little while, yep. There's one of your...
Jonathan Davenport, we've seen him here many times.
We've seen him in Victory Lane many times as well. One of the drivers in that Big River Steel Championship 4. Of course, looking for his record-tying 4th Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship behind him. How about Max Blair here lately? I talked to Max and Brandy down there in the pit area a little earlier. He said, man, we felt good. We've hit on something. Running really well here lately. The driver of the Centerline Motorsports, number 1-1 1.
Third in the Pittsburgher.
Yeah.
We do have a Cody Evans sighting.
He's the next
Rare
driver.
sighting.
There he is.
Cody Evans. There he is, the 4G out of Camden, Ohio.
A Cody Evans in the wild. And behind him, we've got a Jeff Babcock sighting here as well. That's right. Jeff Babcock, the, what was it, the 2007 stock car track champion here. A little bit of smoke coming out from underneath the Craig Miller Trucking Chalk Stick 7B. There's racing Jason Jameson out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, in the James, Jennifer, and Justin Ratliff Racing number 12, the Grant Lee Farms MGL Auto Sales Keltner Contracting sponsored entry for Jason Jameson and his teammate this weekend, Dalton Wilson, the Perminator, the fastest driver in that session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps with a 1.5356.
So he will go down in history as the last ever late model winner at East Bay now.
How about that?
Did not get to run last weekend, unfortunately. And again, our thoughts and prayers to everybody down in the southeast and still contending with Hurricane Helene and then, of course, Milton last weekend.
Yep.
But to Dalton Wilson winning that impressive race back in February. There's the 74B car coming off, the 74X car coming off his big win last weekend. That is Ethan Dotson, the ASD Motorsports Longhorn. He comes to us out of Bakersfield, California. There's the 40B, the Borchers Equipment Race Car Engineering. That'll be Brandon, Florida's Kyle Bronson.
Clint Keenan behind him. He was back here at the World 100. He was registered and signed in as everything but Clint Keenan. It was Clinton Keaton. It was Michael Keaton.
It was Michael Keaton.
Boy, we've spent way too much time on the road together.
There's the 7 car, the Stokely Materials Dutch Star Motorsports entry. That is Ross Robinson. Ross Robinson out of Georgetown, Delaware. Comes in this weekend. He's 12th in the points. Not bad at all, is he?
No, absolutely.
Going to get a pretty good points fund check here. There's the 20 RT. Can he finally do it here and get that title this year? In the Kohler Motorsports car, Chris Madden, the crew chief, Ricky Arnold, DJ Williams, the Hoker Trucking, Coleman Farms. That is Ricky Thornton Jr. out of Martinsville, Indiana. 50 points, the lead right there. There's a driver that almost made the chase a year ago, DJ.
Yeah, Brandon Overton, if not for a late race pass, Brandon Overton could have been in that hunt last year. The driver that comes into this event with 8 wins on the season, 18 career wins with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series for Brandon Overton.
Current Hunt the Front Points leader.
He is the Hunt the Front Points leader, exactly. And there's the 22. That, of course, is Earlham, Iowa's Daniel Hilsebeck. 4th in last year's Lucas Oil MLRA Series point standings. Is the 34-year-old of the 22 Enterprises Manning Chiropractic sponsored 22. There's the Jedi, Jerry Bowersock, multi-time Eldora Speedway track champion, the modified, the former late model track champion here. And the 95J, the full and King Frenchtown trailer sales, Clemens powered rocket chassis. Donnie Jeske, that's a former Best Performance Motorsports car. Or the driver out of Dayton, Ohio, the Clemens powered rocket, the Wright Brothers Aero, Ohio Electrical Services sponsored 99J, Jeske, a former Eldora Speedway stock car winner. And there's the 96 of Tanner English and the Brett Coltman, Coltman Farms Racing Special Needs School of Gwinnett, SRI Performance, Bilstein Shocks, Clemens powered Longhorn, or the Benton, Kentucky native.
So Brett Coleman down there, thank you for what you do.
I saw him as well,
Yep,
absolutely.
with Tanner English and Zach Mitchell here this weekend. Ricky Thornton Jr., 15-1-2-3 DJ, fastest in that group. In that Cornet-powered Longhorn. Never won a crown jewel race here at Eldora. He has 42 wins. Of course, he won the C.J. Rayburn Memorial last Friday night at Brownstown, Indiana. And then Saturday night, finished second to Mikey Marlar.
Woo,
in the Jackson 100. Oh,
look at the red.
Devin Moran, the iBox Springs, Big River Steel 99 DJ. Tell us a little bit about that. That's a sharp-looking race car, man.
Indeed it is. You mentioned tied for second, coming in 50 points back. The Double Down Motorsports, Lazy Days RV, iBox Springs, Big River Steel, CNW Trucking 99. There's the 57. We saw him here back at the World 100. That is Inori, South Carolina. Zach Mitchell currently 4th in the Hunt the Front point standings. That Vic Hill-powered Longhorn for Brett Coltman and Coltman Farms Racing. Also on the track in this session of Hot Laps, Mac Daddy Dale McDowell, the most consistent driver, I think, in the history of Eldora Speedway. In the 17M, the Shane McDowell Racing Easy Go, Quant Synthetics Kinetic Gasket sponsored entry for Mac Daddy Dale McDowell. And there's the red horn. Well, it's a black chassis, the black horn this weekend for Mike Marler.
How about Dale McDowell? They were not going to come this weekend, but they saw the weather forecast and said, let's go.
How about that? I talked to Dale
Yep.
in the pit. He did not mention it. There's Mike Marler, last weekend's winner, the Jackson 100, the Brownstown Speedway. There's the fastest ponytail James out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, the 53-year-old fast Freddie Carpenter. And that Pro Power Kryptonite for Burwell Motorsports, Boston's Farm Venue, and Chatham & Son Tile on the C4. There's Tyler Carpenter, his son, pulling double duty this weekend in the 28. You mentioned he took the lead here last year from 17th in that State Line Construction Dewdrop in Weir's Machine sponsored entry for Tyler Carpenter.
How about this? You know, at the World 100, we had 9 lead changes, which was an event record, right, back in September. At this race a year ago, it's hard to remember that far back, right? 8 lead changes.
8 different leaders.
8 different
Eight
leaders.
different leaders last year.
In that race
It
a year
is.
ago. There's Tyler Erb looking for his first crown jewel victory here at Eldora. Uncle T, his 2024 Summer Nationals champion.
There's Shannon Babb in the Steve Lampley Category 5 race car. We saw him last weekend at Brownstown Speedway as well. And there's Jordan Kohler in the 114 on the track. And that's a wrap on this session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps.
Tristan Chamberlain also out there, the Gibson Motorsports
thank you.
Infinity Spec Racing Engines entry, the Woodworks entry.
And Mike Marler was the fastest driver in that session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps with a 1:05.367. By the way, speaking of Dirt Draft, you were correct earlier, and I knew this, but just to touch on it, Dirt Draft lineups, you won't set that until tomorrow night. So, again, I just looked, and you cannot set it tonight.
Oh, can't set it?
No, not yet. Not yet.
You can't change it then?
Well, if you can't set a lineup, you can't change it. So I mean,
well, I would try, but anyway.
you also bid $0 on the prices right too. There's Tristan Chamberlain. Yes, in the Barker era. Yes, there's Tristan Chamberlain in that Wayne Gibson owned 20 TC. Been a solid year for him. He's 4th in the World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year point standings, the wide open graphics entry, and that.
Now, David Brazil, this is going to show up at night.
Is that okay? I didn't know if that was
the Raging Rebel, Four Corners,
a
Mississippi, the Rocket of David Brazil. How about the Randall Edwards wrench 28B of Carson Brown out of New London, North Carolina. Not New London, Wisconsin.
That's where Terry Casey's from. That's right. Who else we got? What are we gonna throw up on the screen next? There's Corey Workman out of Gray Shot, Ohio, the 2nd generation driver of the W1. That's a Russell Baker power plant underneath the hood of that Kryptonite race car.
Yep.
The Weekly
Group
Electric.
5. Yep. Ryan Gustin should be out there. Right there is the Reaper. Good year for him.
Very good
Right in
year.
that Todd Cooney Motorsports Infinity by Wells. J. Dickens power plant under the hood. Allen Seamless Guttering for the Marshalltown, Iowa driver. There's the Reese Monument Company Ultimate Towing and Recovery. That is Jimmy Owens. Jimmy Owens, a former winner of the DTWC. And, of course, that was back in the year 2012.
Good
Four-time
job.
Lucas Oil champion.
Good job.
He's got to get back tied with Davenport, right? Davenport passed him in all-time wins. JD now with 83. And there Jimmy was 82.
And there is your 2024 O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. That's going to be Drake Troutman out of Hyndman, Pennsylvania. He clinches that by showing up here this weekend. The driver of the RFI Resources Wheeler Fleet Solutions sponsored number 7. He's on the back straightaway.
You know, it's only his 2nd time here in the late model. Last year, Castro Float, was he Castro Float last year? That's only the other time he's run a late model. There's Bobby Pierce, the World 100 winner.
34 wins this year.
34 wins. He has never won the DTWC. His dad never won it. Out of Oakwood, Illinois, the Low Voltage Solutions entry, Hoker truck. There's the 49 car, the veteran. He will be on the pole for the modified feature. That'll be Brian Ruhlman,
the Porpoise,
native of Maumee, Ohio, now living in Clark Lake, Michigan, the last several years. 7
times he's won in Eldora Speedway track champ. By the way, how about Brian Ruhlman this year? Has a win in the modified at Volusia. He has also got a GLSS, a Great Lakes Sprint Car Series win up at Tri-City, Michigan earlier this year. Good for him.
Does it all right.
That's right.
And you hear a lot of nicknames in the pit area. There's only one porpoise down here. You don't. There's not a lot of rockets and comets and cupids and all that. And I tell you what, guys, looking at Ryan Gustin's car today, looking at a lot of these cars in the pit area, several of them have breast cancer awareness wraps on them. And very, very cool to see these drivers, these teams recognizing a very real battle and it affects a lot of people. And again, how about Donald Bratcher, over $80,000 for Little Pink Houses of Hope, all because he had his magic shoes on and he was out there dancing. Love everything about it, and kudos to him and everybody with Paylor Motorsports, and of course driver Carson Ferguson.
Move over John Travolta, right?
That's right. That's right.
There's the B5. Can he do it? Can he get that 6th? DTWC tied the late, great Freddie Smith here a year ago. And the week that we lost Freddie Smith, got his 5th DTWC, so Brandon trying for his 6th of the Dude Wipes Valvoline entry. Zach Dome, did you have him on your list?
I did not. I added him late.
Good to have him here at Eldora, of course. Always runs Wheeler, the Tim Short Auto Group. Dome Cycle Sales entry out of Cross Lanes, West Virginia.
There's Brian Shirley, speaking of breast cancer awareness, wraps the pink poppin' on the 3S here this weekend. That is Brian Shirley again out of Chatham, Illinois, and that Bob Cullen Racing, Thompson Express, Hoker Trucking, JJ Ventures Gaming sponsored entry. Following him will be the 10 of former Dirt Track World Championship winner Garrett Smith out of Eatonton, Georgia, the Terminal Maintenance Construction, Atlanta Heating and Cooling, world famous Cadillac Ranch sponsored number 10. He'll be followed by the 99B, that is Rick Boot Briggs, and the Dave Warren Power Sports Briggs Transport Access Storage Corey Rubber Corporation sponsored entry. The 17 Double S, one of our Rally Auto Parts Rookie of the Year candidates this year. That's going to be Brendan Smith, and the Plum Crazy Plumbing Total Claim Source, Guardian Hurricane Protection, Big Daddy's Cattle Company sponsored Durham Powered Rocket Chassis for him. And look at Boom atop the leaderboard, James. Boom Briggs Night in America. Also on the track, there's Chad Green out of Wendell, West Virginia. In the 88, the Pro Power Longhorn. Good look at him, new wrap on the side of that race car this weekend. There's Rob Anderzak out of Metamora, Ohio. Swanton, Ohio, the 8 car. The Gressman-powered Longhorn for APC Motorsports. And there's Mason Ziegler in the 25Z out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. In the Green Lane, JLE Industries sponsored number 25Z and the 3S of Brian Shirley, the fastest driver in that session of Dirt Draft Top Laps with a 5.342.
In the Longhorns. Second in Knoxville back last month. What a last half of the year he has had. He has been impressive, and he and Garrett Alberson, bet they wish they could have started the season over with, but Brian Shirley looking for the biggest win of his career here this weekend, DJ.
Absolutely. James, with that having been said, we're going to go ahead and step aside as we get cars crossed over. And when we come back, we've got Steel Block qualifying. Is that next?
We have Steel Block qualifying, 72 strong here tonight.
There you go. It's Carl Short's Dirt Track World Championship. General Tire, the title sponsor. ARP, the presenting sponsor. You're watching it all live. It's MAV TV on FloRacing.
welcome back.
Welcome back, sir. Get
James
ready.
Essex, Rob Goodman in now for the Steel Block Series as they're going to come up next for their qualifying here tonight. And again, they'll be running 6 heat races here tonight at Eldora.
3 groups, Group A, Group B, Group C. So we'll break them down into 24 cars, which will be heats 1 and 2. And then, of course, next 2 will be 3 and 4, so on and so forth. 3 cars at a time around America's greatest dirt track, the Eldora Speedway. Rick Monroe up on the perch as he hears just each and every event at Eldora.
So we'll also have, again, coming up after this, we'll have the All-Star Performance Time Trials for the Lucas Oil Series. We're ready to go. Robbie Bostic. Let me get an order. It's Dustin Nobby. Dustin Nobby out of Batesville, Indiana. He'll be up first in that Ted Nobby Rocket. Nobby Mower Shop, Spencer's Outdoor Solutions, Naylor Enterprises, followed by the 187 of the Tookwiles Rocket. That'll be Mitch Caskey. He is out of Zanesville, Ohio, the Kramer Oil. Purty Monument, Dan Weaver Trucking, Stack Products, Marker Incorporated, and then Colton Burdett, the 44. I believe we're going to do 3 at a time. Parkersburg, West Virginia, the Rocket, Dimmitt Accounting, Curtis Towing, and Auto Repair, Go Lithium, Advanced Painting, number 44.
So first lap's going up on the scoreboard. Caskey in the 187 will stop the clock at a 16.584. Burdett, Colton Burdett, 16.702. Dustin Nobby, 17.169. Rick will have the checkered flag. So Caskey's first lap will stand. We'll see. Nope, he goes a tick slower there on lap 2. But how about Colton Burdett, James? He'll go quick. 16.268 will set the mark here for Group A, followed by Caskey and Nobby. So 3 in the books.
Up next will be Derek Ramey. He's out of Noonan, Georgia, driving car 43, followed by the P3. It'll be the veteran driver, son of John Holt, the boogeyman. It'll be Pete Holt. He's out of Independence, Kentucky. And the Jeff Leakey, that is the best wings in town. The Backyard Grill, PPP on-site services sponsoring that car. And then also out on the track will be the 98th. That'll be Tim Sabo. Tim Sabo, the veteran, out of Fremont, Ohio, in car number 98. Did I get them right? Derek Ramey, Pete Holt, and Tim Sabo.
Perfect.
Not Chris Sabo. You remember Chris Sabo, right?
do,
Played
yes.
for the Reds. Former Rookie of the Year.
44, I believe. Is that the number? More of a...
No, that was Eric Davis.
Oh, okay. Lap number 1 starting to populate here. Let's see what we can do here on lap 2. We got the world famous waiting. And so Ramey will go 4th quick in the 43. That's what we were looking for. 16.815. The little boogeyman, Pete Holt, 2nd quick. 16.496. Good effort for him. Tim Sabo, the veteran, 17.119, will hold P6 after 6 cars.
Tim Sabo, the Wallace Racing Products, Dominator Race Products, number 98 out of Toledo, Ohio. Should be Jeff Robertson. He's coming up next, the P3X. He's out of Defiance, Ohio. Followed by the 14, comes to us out of Junction City, Kentucky. That'll be Logan Walls. Logan Walls and the Gaddis Farms, Absolute Seamless Gutters, Wayne's Auto Repair, Ray's Pizza Place, Slicker Graphics, Rocket. And behind them will be the B4. That'll be Brandon Brown. Brandon's out of Hanceville, Alabama, to Swartz Car. You got to say it like that. You did it earlier.
Yes.
American Fabrication, WW Machine, Rapid Race Graphics, Perry's Paint and Body, Keith Watts Racing Engine under the hood of the B4. And
Jeff Robertson, the final car to pull on the property today out of Defiance, Ohio, the River City Speed Shop, 8-hour racing service. Bob Pierce chassis with the Rec Power Plant.
B4 will always be Jack Boggs to me, right?
Yes, Black
Jack Boggs.
But I tell you what, we talked a little bit earlier about the year that Brandon Brown had 19 wins and 31 starts. So breakout year for that driver. Excited to be here at Eldora. I still have a Jack Boggs t-shirt that it's never been worn.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
So taking a look here at times.
Are
Brandon
they populating?
Brown, 16.739. The B4 goes P4. As Jeff Robertson, you know, when you got 72 cars, you have 2 P3s. And we have a P3X 8.
And one of them's not Steve Peden.
Yes. Former Clash winner, 17.458. Steve Peden.
Yep.
So it looks like that group is complete. So Stoll, Burdett, Holt, Brown now jumps up to the 3rd spot. So a good run for him. We talked about his great year as the Hanceville, Alabama driver. It's a good time as we get ready to keep going here. Once again, 24 cars total here in group number A. We've got 9 of them completed. Next group rolls out.
Got about 3 or 4 regulars at Port Royal with us here this weekend. Here's one of them, Dylan Stake. Not only in the limited late models, but the open late models. He's out of Three Springs, Pennsylvania in that Rocket 10-man body shop. Also, Wagner's Excavating, Williamson Salvage Fryco Company. Also, Penske Racing Shocks by JDS Racing, Garlock's Used Cars, Wayne's Water Conditioning. He's followed by the 151, that'll be Trace Settles. Trace Settles at a Mastersville Dunkin' Oil All-Star Lemon Shake-Ups, Rob. All-Star Lemon Shake-Ups and Sunbury Cars. And then the 81M, that'll be Matt Melvin. He's out of Cold Grove, Ohio, on a Black Diamond Mullins. Patriot Meat Processing, Burlisle Performance Products, and Sullivan Excavating on the 81M.
So white flag out in the air by Rick. We'll take a look here. First time by Dylan Stake, 17.030. Puts him 7th. Looks like some smoke, unfortunately, out of the 151. Trace Settles, 18.349, and I believe may have hurt the power plant on that one. So he'll go 12th. Matt Melvin, regular in the Steel Block Series, 16.910 will put him 7th. And Stake will hold with 8th, that 17.030. So no changes up front. Still Colton Burdett, Pete Holt, Brandon Brown, your top 3 here so far in Group A as we're halfway through.
The next tree will be the 33K, another regular at Port Royal. In fact, he is from Port Royal, Pennsylvania. That'll be Devin Hart. Devin Hart in the Browns Automotive. Hungry Run Wine Cellars. Stokely Speed and Supply, RN Moyer Hauling, Gridiron Pub and Pizza. Center Boot Company, Mifflin Hill Beverage, Lucky Buck Deer Mineral, and Abel Signs. That is a Rocket Barons performance engine under the hood. He'll be followed by the 97T out of Catlettsburg, Kentucky, and his Rocket Franz Automotive engine. That'll be Kevin Terry. Kevin Terry and the Terry Brothers Racing. Kevin Terry's Lawn Service. Walmart. Smokin' Jay's Rib and Brewhouse and Premier Precast 97, and followed by the Bluegrass State driver out of Williamsburg, Kentucky. It'll be Derek Metters. Derek Metters in that Rocket Dynamic Race Engines entry, Redline Motorsports. Davenport Development, Free Mechanical, Awesome Designs, Metters Farm, Crowley Metal Sales, Precision Powder Coating, Ball Brothers Excavating, Bowman Construction, and Shorty's Shock Service. Has Shorty ever serviced your shocks?
Not yet. Well, we'll see how this car runs. It'll dictate if I give Shorty a call. Checkered flag in the air. Good effort for Devin Hart. He'll go 5th quick. 16.622 is qualifying effort. The 97, Kevin Terry, will be 11th. No, strike that. 12th, 17.207 is Derek Matos in the 8th, or the 9 goes 8th, 16.865.
There's your West Virginia right there. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Should be Brad Rickles. He'll be in the 7 car. He's out of Verona, Kentucky, in the MB Customs Mullins, LK Concrete, Lanigan Construction, Rocks Outdoors. Just chilling. E-Carts, Slicker Graphics, Downrange Shooting Supply, number 7. He'll be followed by the 92. That'll be Frankie Gordon. He's out of Mercersburg, PA. He's a regular at Hagerstown. He's in the Williams Family Motorsports. That's the B&M Diesel Services, Zachary Kraus Veterinarian, B&B Automotive, Rosenberry Auctioneer, Ash Transport, and the 03. You see out there Oliver Gentry. There's the Oliver Gentry car, Newton, Georgia, the Stinger, Vic Hill, Sweet Victory Apparel, Gentry Auto Parts and Recycling, Knowles Trucking, and Southern Real Estate Connections sponsor the 03 of Oliver Gentry.
And problems there for the driver with the 7, but scored as a 37, gets her crossed up there. Brad Rickles, the Verona, Kentucky racer.
I'm not sure how we got a 3 out of the
I'm not sure.
7.
We got a replay at home for those watching on the big screen as well. So hustle the car down into 3 and 4, James.
Brad Rickles been regular on the Steel Block Series this year here in 2024. Just locked it up.
Yep. Got in the slick there and no harm, no foul.
He comes into this weekend 9th in the points, even though he's missed 5 races. So Zach Milby, Matt Melvin, Steven Dotson, Lucas McDonald, Michael McGinnis, Tim Sable, the top 6 all have perfect attendance heading into Eldora tonight. 5,000 to win tomorrow. And again, they run all their prelims tonight, qualifying heats and the B mains. don't know how many B-mains we got for 72 car.
3 B-mains.
3
tonight.
B-mains. Thank you, Rob.
2 out of that. I believe there is going to be a couple provisionals available for series regulars. We'll get that all sorted after we're done with our Bs tonight.
So Colton Burdett still the fastest overall here in qualifying for the steel blocks in car 44 out of Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Oliver Gentry 6 quick in the 0-3, 16.670 his first lap by. Let's see, we'll find Mr. Rickles 14th, 17.315. Frankie Gordon 14th, 17.223. We'll see if they can pick it up on their second effort here. Gentry will hold serve 6 quick in that 0-3. 37 better, 11th, 16.987 for Brad Rickles, and the 92 will cross the line. Frankie Gordon a little bit slower, hold on lap number 1, 15th so far. So we were looking for Kerry King in that one,
Not
did not
there.
see him.
Nope,
Yep.
the Delmar Delaware driver, the KB car. So it should be Casey Burdett. He's there, the black 44.
Yes.
Boy, Heartbreak Hotel for him last night. Was he leading? He raced.
He was leading the B. Well, he had problems with the
broke.
B. Yeah, broke and talked to him. Unfortunately, motor woes, they think, on that modified. But back with the steel block tonight. He was your quick qualifier last year when we did this. We'll see what he can do.
And you know he's in the Team Zero Bloomquist car.
Yes.
Fordyce Heavy Equipment, Central Star Drilling, tank lining of Paris, Tennessee, and Holdren Construction, number 44. He should be followed by Jacob Wiblin. He's out of Charleston, West Virginia, the 64J, the Kryptonite, River Metals Recycling, AC Custom Graphics, Coots. How about Coots Home? I can't read my writing, can I? Home Comfort,
There you
something
go.
like that, right? Swamp Fox Tavern. It gets better. That Great Escape Travel Agency. And Casey Steinhoff. He's in Millville, Pennsylvania, the 22, the Longhorn Barons, BJ Crawford Construction, Steve's Repair Shop, Garmax Pressure Washing and Detailing, Stars Portable Toilets, and Cincy by Sharon Boyer.
Lap 1 in the books. It's Casey Burdett second quick. James a little bit slower in lap 2, so hold that 16.390. It's Burdett Palooza at the top of the speed charts here. It's both of them sit 1 and 2. The Jacob Wiblin in the 64J 17.360 and Casey Steinhoff in the 22 17.410. I believe the final 2 cars in Group A getting ready. These will be the guys that make up heats 1 and 2.
Blake Kraft should be up next in the 16 car. He comes to us out of Clayton, Georgia. He's in the train chassis, Vic Hill Power Plant under the hood. WB Kerbo Construction, Wiley Cattle Company, Peach State Auto Recycling, CCC Incorporated, A-plus signs sponsor the 16 car. So he will be out there with the 01. That'll be Matt Glandon, right? Matt Glandon in the 01. He's out of Denton, Maryland on the Rocket Karras Racing engine entry. Walker Arthur Racing, K&B Auto, Advanced Motorsports, VP Fuels, Bruce Kane Racing, and G2 Design for the 01 of Matt Glandon. The final 2 qualifiers here in this first group.
James, have you encountered a train race car? That was the first time I saw that.
No, I have not.
Yes, so be curious. If I get some time, I'll stop by and see the backstory on that. Glandon in the 01 goes 17.208 for him. Looking for the 16 for his qualifying effort. We scroll through. Searching. So the 01 goes 14th. I'm looking for the 16. 7 quick, good effort. Yeah,
16.989 for Glandon. So,
yep.
So the Burdett boys up
1,
front
2.
here. Yes, 1 and 2. Colton and Casey Burdett here in time trials for the Steel Block Series. So we'll have to bring down the next group down to the infield. Gates open there on the back straight away. That's the only problem with having them up on the hill, right? You got to
good problem to have,
down
though.
here. Yep.
Good problem to have. How about Pete Holt? Their third quick. Talked to him a little bit earlier.
First time in a late model.
Yes. Bucket list, he said. Big smile on it. Talked to him and the car owner a little bit and asked him how that pairing came. And he said, you know, he's been watching Pete have a lot of success with Florence in the modified. And if you're watching at home and you're a young racer, the car owner said something that was very important. He said he's easy on equipment. So that was a nod to Pete able to.
There's some that are, and then there's some that are not.
Yeah, it depends if you're paying the bills, right? I guess so.
Well, as they say, what's the quickest way to make $1 million in racing is to start with $2 million.
Yes.
That's exactly right. So there you have that. So Here you see the 64 car. He'll be coming up first here in the next group. That'll be Michael McGinnis out of Bealsville, Ohio, the Rocket Shag Racing Engine entry.
Two McGinnises here, James, not related to each other. So one's from Pennsylvania and the other one's not. So I was like, hey, you know that guy? He's like, nope. So
that's wild, isn't it? Tony Painter, he's in the 81 car. He's out of Trinway, Ohio, the Rocket Hogue, Burwell Motorsports, and Buds Incorporated. And it'll be Steven Dotson, currently leading the Rookie of the Year points in the Steel Block Series. He is out of West Union, West Virginia. Ellenboro, same area. Kryptonite Yates, McDonald Farms, Jenkins Auto Parts, McDonald Dotson Racing, Octane Race Products, Barnes Trucking, Margie's Bar and Grill, Slicks Custom, and Barefaced and Beautiful. Not sure what that is. I was going to ask you about Cincy here by Susan. Yeah, Cincy by Sharon Boyer.
Oh, I think that's.
She's on the Casey Steinhoff car.
Yeah, I believe that's like a makeup type thing. I believe Cincy on that. So
what do you think about Barefaced and Beautiful?
I don't know if that's a sponsor or a statement. It's one of the two.
Is that
for
like
sure.
Elf?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, Elf, and that a makeup?
Well, possibly.
I don't know anything about that.
So Tony Painter, we remember James got up in the fence over 1 and 2 and then 81. I don't see him on pit road, so we'll see if he can make the call, as he had some pretty decent damage in there. So we move into Group B once, and these guys will be in heats 3 and 4 a little bit later here tonight. Racetrack was super juiced up when they got out a little bit earlier. Taking a look on the 49 at home on the big screen as well. So
we started an hour earlier than we did last night. Last night we started at 7, so wasn't it 7? Yeah, it was 7 last night. So we started at 6 here. Well, actually, we started at 5, right? Well, we had to run in the track a little bit like we did last night. So, hey, we invite everybody out tomorrow. Going to be a great day.
Beautiful weather. It was beautiful today here. Started with a long sleeve, quickly went to the T-shirt as I was making my rounds around the property. So come on out if you're sitting at home and thinking, hey, come join James and I. It'll be a great time.
Dustin,
I'm not sure.
Dan, Randy Weaver will all be here.
I didn't see Randy here. Did he know the young man from Crossville in the Modified?
We did not ask him.
We'll have to find out. So maybe if he's got his ears on, we'll
he owns
check
half
Randy.
Crossville.
Well, I wonder if he owns half that car then.
Colton Profit, yep, he'll start third here in the A main tonight. Again, that'll be 25 laps. That'll be coming up here later on tonight. Again, right after the steel blocks, we will have the All-Star performance for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Then we'll have those 24 drivers locked into the modified A main. They will hot lap. And then we'll have our pre-race ceremonies, our invocation and national anthem, followed by 6 Lucas Oil heats, steel block heats, modified A main, and then the steel block B main. So that tomorrow night we'll have the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series B mains. We'll have the Jim Dunn Memorial Race, and then the 100 lap Carl Schwartz Dirt Track World Championship. Again, thanks to General Tire and Automotive Racing Products.
James, we talk about a lot of the racing family, the Lane family, of course, the proprietors of All-Star Performance up in Waterville, Michigan. Have you ever had a tour of the facility up there?
No.
Beautiful. Next time you're up in there, let me know. I got a lot of friends that work there, a great racing family, and they've done a lot for motorsports through, of course, many years now. All-Star Performance quick time for the Lucas Late Models. Here we go, Group B. Getting ready to get around the famed Eldora Speedway.
Blue and white 64, Michael McGinnis in that Rocket, Bealsville, Ohio, his hometown. And then should have also coming out at turn number 4 down the main straightaway.
That's Dotson.
That is Dotson, Steven Dotson, and he's
got problems.
He gets going. He is the current points leader out of Ellenboro, West Virginia. And there's the 113 out of Parkersburg in that Longhorn. Brandon Francis, Double H Racing Engines under the hood. Do you have Brandon Francis sponsors? Can you mention those for me, please? The 113.
The 113, the drivers you mentioned, hailed out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. The Perry's Auto Pike Street Lanes Longhorn with a Double H power plant. And he's got some woes, unfortunately. Now he goes. Let's see. Car's just not staying in gear, possibly, or something.
Well, he's going to run up on a driver. Dotson, beep. Steven Dotson comes in tonight third. I mentioned in the steel block points behind Zach Milby and Matt Melvin. And do we get a lap in?
16.848. We'll see if he gets another one. He was impeded. Dotson's 23.01. That's a pretty sporty lap for doing some evasive action. Francis, Michael McGinnis, 18.228. Let's see here, the 113, 16.972, so a little bit slower with the open racetrack.
Steven Dotson having
a heck of a time.
Issues, yes. McGinnis
He goes a little bit slower, 18.243, so that 18.228 will stand. Dotson having woes in that 97 will be credited with third, 22.357.
So we should have the 10, Rob. It should be Fayetteville, Ohio's Mike Myers, and the Kryptonite Darging Mike Myers Plumbing. Then it should be the 7. That'll be T-Carp Tyler Carpenter, 2-time Gateway Dirt Nationals winner. He is out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. And then David Ellis, he's out of Defiance, Ohio, on the 17. He's in a Masters built RAC Racing engine, Oklahoma Metal and Iron, Eitenauer Racing Services, and ARC Trucking. Did you get the sponsors? Carpenter got here late. Did you get the sponsors on the 7 car?
So he was pre-entered as the 28, but it was the Holdren Construction Services Kryptonite with an Eisner power plant, so that's what we'll go with.
Of course. Probably Parkersburg Plumbing.
Yes.
As well.
So let's see what he can do on his qualifying effort. I did have someone reach out for me from the Lane family, so anytime you want the tour, just let me know. So
there you go.
It's great people.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Carpenter 16.154, not surprising James with his recent success here. And Eldora, Mike Meyer 17.170 goes to the 3rd spot. David Ellis 18.557 will be his lap record. He comes by. And that'll be 5th quick. So Carpenter, Francis, and Myers right now, your top 3 early in Group B.
Tucker Anderson, the 22 car. Blairsville, Georgia. Same as JD, as we've got Evan Terry, should be up next. He's in the 58 car. He comes to us out of Catlettsburg, Kentucky. He's the Rocket France Racing Engine Performance car. Tribute Contracting, Southern Ohio Trenching and Excavating. Terry Brothers Racing, Premier Precast 58, followed by the 002. It'll be Tyler Arrington. He's out of Cedar Bluff, Virginia, in the Savage Phantom. Car Care, Ernest Performance, and 21 Motorsports. And then it should be the 24. There he is, Robbie Bostic. He's out of Mineral Wells, West Virginia, the Kryptonite CT525. C&T Service, Farrier Audio Tubes, and KB Custom Designs. 24R for Robbie Bostic.
So we're ready to go. Of course, Carpenter 16.154, quickest so far here in Group B and quickest overall for his qualifying effort. And his lap number 1 for the 58, Evan Terry. We'll go 4th quick, 17.676. 002, Tyler Arrington, good lap, 16.459. James, that'll put him P2 early here. Bostic 17.771 will go 6th quick. As Taylor will wrap up his qualifying effort in the 58. A little bit slower there. Nope, actually better. 17.539 will hold serve at 5th. Problems for Arrington in the 002, so he'll go lap number 1. And Bostic now 5th quick, 17.442. So Carpenter, Arrington with that good first lap goes 2nd. Brendan Francis right now 3rd here in Group B.
All right, the next trio should be Tucker Anderson, the 22, as we mentioned, out of Blairsville, Georgia, the Longhorn Vic Hill, Vincent Sims Construction, Coleman Farms Racing, and Beaver Dam Trucking, number 22, should be followed by the veteran Russ Ronapple. He is at Ovitz, Ohio, in car 45. Is he not there?
Don't see him in the lineup.
Clayton Bryant.
Yep,
there's Anderson. Clayton Bryant, the 114 out of Yoder, Indiana. He's in the Kryptonite Spec. He is out there. And then we should have the N64. Is he there?
He is. The Canuck.
That is Dylan Bonner out of Blenheim, Ontario, Canada. The Rocket 604. Precision Millwright and Fabrication, Acon, and Wilton Realtors. Clayton Bryant, by the way, Potter's Lawn Service, Killer Diesel, Alternative Fuel Systems, NBBJ Fencing, J&A Innovations, Meyer HVAC, Carbright, Longenberger Excavating, Jim Holmes, Kings Island Motor Company, and Powerhouse Fabrication sponsor the 114 of Clayton Bryant.
Oh, Tucker Anderson, 16.134, James. That's quick time overall for that 22. He lays down a good lap here. Quickest overall, the 114, Clayton Bryant, 5th quick, 16.936 for the modified veteran. And the Canadian, first time ever here at Eldora, Dylan Bonner, 17.807. Good showing, he's 9th. Talked to him earlier this week. First ever visit here. Checked out the show last night, so good to have him. A great contingent of Canadian racers here at Eldora. We see him quite a bit, and a lot. Enjoy having them here with the skill blocks.
Ronnie Saunders, you got some information on him. Will Harrington Out of Hawkinsville, Georgia, and Pete Crum will be the next 3. Pete Crum, he's in the Kryptonite, Crum Concrete and Excavating, Mossy Rock Real Estate, ASB, Lock, Stock, and Barrel, the Don Linder sales team, and Sean Donahue Trucking sponsor Pete Crum, Will Harrington, the Bruce Kane Racing 15K, and Ronnie Saunders.
Saunders out of Columbiana, Ohio, the Gilson Photo Smith family. That's a Kryptonite with a Chevy power plant for the driver of the 75. First start of the year for him, James, and he just brings it out for the Dirt Track World Championship. He's going to go big or go home. So Tucker Anderson, 16.134, the time to beat. We'll see Harrington third quick, 16.436. Not surprising. Double duty for that talented racer. Pete Crum, 8th quick, 17.171. Looking for the 75, who's late entry today. Lap number 2 for Harrington, a little bit better, 16.196. He'll hold with the 3rd spot. Pete Crum 8th, 17.171. And not showing a time, but that doesn't mean much, so we'll see if we get a time. Oh, that was the 56, sorry. Boy, we missed that one.
Oh, BJ Gregory.
Yeah,
Gregory's
Gregory's
sports car,
17,
Gregory Racing Engines.
Yeah.
Do we have a time on
Yeah,
BJ
9th
Gregory?
quick, sorry, BJ, 17.173.
There you go.
And I couldn't find the 75 because he wasn't there.
BJ Gregory, the Crestcom Leadership Development, Aquatech Water Conditioning, Robertson EDM, Turnworks, Machine and Fabrication, CCR, the Racers Connection, Black Swamp Boots, JCB Home Service, and the Flats Pub. So it should be Brad McGinnis in the 13 up next. Robbie's out of Huntington, Pennsylvania, the Longhorn, Barron's Racing Engine, Martin Motorsports Racing Shocks, Ashley Yoder Designs, Danny Atherton, the 19, he's out of Green Springs, PA, in the Rocket 358 engine. Branter Performance, Tom Covert Logging, Book Construction, Long's Tire Sales, CB Electric and Communications, Elite Air Systems, and Parstech Engineering and Machining. Do we have Philip Ramirez, the Z1?
No, we have the 11 out there.
The 11 of Lance Brazington. That's how you pronounce it. Lexington, South Carolina, the Kryptonite B&B Performance Engine, Mr. B's Heating and Air, Rockin' M Woodcrafters, and Savannah River Land Management. Lance Brazington in 11.
So McGinnis in the 13th goes 12th. Brasington in the 11B matches the car number. He's 11th, and Atherton in the 19th, 14. I believe we have a pair left to go here in Group B.
And we got one light at the scales.
Uh-oh.
The 15K of Will Harrington.
Oh, no green light.
Light at the scales, so he'll go to the tail end of his heat race here tonight as we see what happened to Atherton.
Finishes qualifying. Ooh, I'm going to say something amiss on the right front, so I'm not going to speculate, but something breaking there, and he got into the concrete probably harder than he wanted to. So, yep, definitely tore the right front off of that. Tough break for him. As we talked about, that contingent from Pennsylvania with us here. As he said, 13th start. His best finish was 4th in the limited late models at Hagerstown, and currently 5th in the Hagerstown late model sportsman points, and unfortunately tastes the concrete in turn 1 after his qualifying effort.
So the next 3, it'll be Lucas McDonald. He's in the 44 car. He's out of Lost Creek, West Virginia, the Swartz car, Tom Rogers Racing Engine under the hood. Buccaneer Hauling, McDonald Farms, Upshur Ultra Power, EMT Logistics, Afterburner Performance, and Mountain State Transportation Consulting. Followed by the G15, that'll be Jacob Gammer. He's out of Wauseon, Ohio, the Swartz Price Engine car. Bad Creek Enterprises, Precision Ag, Wallace Racing Products, Double D Graphics, and Eitenauer Racing Solutions. Followed by the current points leader. That'll be Zach Milby. He's out of Poca, West Virginia. He's at a Longhorn Mullins, Dome Cycles, Afterburner Performance, VP Fuels by Burlisle, Octane Race Products, Dave Poske's Performance Parts, David Smith Frame and Body, Axis Custom Decals, Hawk Performance, Excess Power Batteries, Fast Shafts, and Finish One Auto Body. As you see Jeff Babcock there, working in the pit area back there, the Wayne Hurricane.
Milby will be the first car in Group C.
Is that Jimmy Owens? What do you think? Bazooka, Bubble Yum, Juicy Fruit. What do you think he's going to tonight?
Well, I'm going to go Bazooka.
He's making me nervous.
He's making laps.
He's making me. He's getting his steps in there on top of the hauler.
I'm going to go Bazooka because, you know, Dirt Track World Championship, I got to go Freddie Smith. So
Did you get any bazooka for Halloween candy? You did, or bubble gum?
All I got was hot sauce. So you're holding out on.
We talked about the Heartbeat hot sauce last night.
DJ's in the same boat as me.
So you're still,
candy.
and I agree with you. I'm sold on the Reese's cup. I don't care for the Reese's cup, the Reese's pieces in the Reese's cup, the potato chips, the.
Well, you hate on ET, James. I mean, that was his jam. Was the Reese's.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I like the king size. The king size is pretty cool.
Okay. So we final 2 cars here in Group B. We'll see Mr. Milby, the
You've never
Polka
heard
Dot.
of a Clark bar or Zagnut? You're not serious, are you?
I know what both of them are, but I've not consumed them because I'm not from that generation. So.
Yeah, I see a Zagnut every once in a while, maybe at a truck stop somewhere in Iowa.
It's probably
maybe
been there for 35 years. Just outskirts of Oskaloosa somewhere.
Truck stop, right? Stop in there and ask Jeeves on their Wi-Fi.
I think James 12 days to
They
get
got
Iowa
Windows
once.
98 on a computer somewhere. All right, here's Lucas McDonald.
5th quick for him, 16.795. They can't accuse us of not having fun up here for sure. Jacob Gamber, we regular and super stock. Good effort, 12th, 17.489. As McDonald come and finish his qualifying effort in that 44M. His 5th quick. Actually, 4th quick with the light at the scales, 16.783 will put him P4 overall. Gamber 11th, but he'll move up to the 10th, 17.422, and that will put to bed Group B. So Tucker Anderson right now, quickest overall of everyone's qualified, 16.134, laid down by that driver of the 22 machine. Good effort for him. Taking a look at Mr. Anderson's season so far. He's had 33 starts and 8 wins, so not surprising coming in here with a pretty solid season.
Yeah. He was here last year for the steel block portion of the modifieds. Unfortunately, last year the super stocks and the modifieds didn't get to run, but they put on a heck of a show here last night. Nick Bowers with the win in the super stocks. Again, the modified field is set. Their hot laps will be coming up for their main event. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break as we'll resume steel block qualifying here shortly. You're watching it all, the 44th annual Carl Schwartz Dirt Track World Championship. Thanks again to the fine folks at General Tire and ARP. We'll be right back from Eldora Speedway. Welcome back to Eldora Speedway, night number 2 of Carl Schwartz General Tire Dirt Track World Championship presented by Automotive Racing Products. Tonight, Steel Blocks, they are still qualifying. Then we'll have All-Star Performance for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. They make their way to there. James Essex, Rob Goodman, Dustin Jarrett, Randy Weaver, Ben Shelton. Everybody's here tonight. There's Uncle T holding court. There's Brandon Shepard looking for a record 6th victory here tomorrow night. Rob Anderzak down there as well. You talked about all the Robs here, right?
There's like 13 on the property.
We do.
Yes. Hey, breaking news. I got to give a shout out to the Canadians. I got a special delivery up here. It's not Halloween candy, but it's even better.
It says all
dressed chips from Canada. So James was very confused by this. See right there, made in Canada. DJ was up to speed on that.
Well, I see the maple leaf, so I can get that.
So a shout out to our Canadians here on the property.
So we got a tomato, an onion. I'm not sure what all this.
That's garlic.
Garlic.
And vinegar. All right, group.
That's kind of
C
tasty.
out on the racetrack.
That gets you thirsty there, brother.
Well, we got places to
Zach
fix
Milby
that.
trying to win the title here. Current point leader. He's won 10 features here this season. He's only finished out of the top 5 one time this year. Very impressive for the Polka West Virginia driver in car number 5, Rob.
The Polka Dot Express. Also out there, the driver of the 74. As DJ hooked us up. That is
Derek Quaid.
Yes. Yep. He is out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. The champion used Auto Parts Summer Breeze Farms at Powell's Mobile Glass Longhorn with the Vic Hill.
Rucker Orr out of Noonan, Georgia, the 99, the Rocket Bobby Thomas Grand Oil Company, South Atlanta Mechanical, KRO Auto Sales, TRW Truck Repair, Ground Security, Orr's Wrecker Service, Fuller Refrigeration, Sunbelt Rentals, Duffy, and Johnny's Wrecker Service. Do we have a time on?
We do. Quaid is good. Yes, 16.215. That's a heck of a lap. Zach Milby in the 5M also lays down a good one, 16.312. And Rucker Orr, 17.391.
Of course we are.
Yes. And chips apparently as well. At least I am.
Craig Dittman tried a slide job, but he nearly pulled it off on that final lap on that super stock feature with Nick Bowers, but Nick with a nice crossover. Got the win. Cody Vandewinkle. There you go, the 43 car. Charing Crossing, Ontario, Canada, the Rock and New Generations in for Yellow Tech Auto Sales, B&R Incorporated, Lumar Excavating and Trucking, Boss Wash, Boss Stories, J&D Auto Glass, Jiffy Lube and Suds. Trent Brenneman, this year's track champion in limited late models of Port Royal. He is out of Port Royal, PA, the Rocket Jet Buyers Engine, Mifflin Hill Beverage, River Valley Builders, Steininger Brothers Excavating, Diversified Investment Solutions. And we have Ted Johnson Jr.
Dustin Spruce, I believe.
Dustin Spruce, I'm sorry. Dustin Sprouse. Dustin Sprouse, not Dustin Spruce.
Spruce Goose? I don't know. Let's see.
All I can think of is a spruce tree, right?
So Trent Brenneman goes third quick in the 33. I've ruined James, 16.634. Cody Vandewinkle, 43C, 17.220. Dustin Sprouse, 6 quick, 17.813.
All I was trying to get Cody's name right, and then a Dustin Spruce comes in on me. God love you, man. You're doing a good job. We're having a good time. All right, what do we got? We still
6 in the books, yes.
Dennis's brother, Dennis Quaid's brother, is Terry Quaid right now, top time. Do we have Ted Johnson Jr.?
We do.
I can see the
First
white
car
25.
out.
He's out of Rushville, Ohio. He's not the Rushville Rocket, but he could have been, right? He could be the Rushville, Ohio Rocket.
Yes.
I mean, Tony lived in like Rushville, Indiana for like what, a year or two? Yeah, he was the Rushville Rocket forever, right? I'm just saying,
Yeah,
right?
just saying, throwing it out there.
Swartz Extreme, Mullins Power Plant, Boss Fabrication, R&J Trucking and Hauling, Slacker Fabrication, Starburst Vinyl Graphics, followed by J. Watt. That is Jeff Watson out of Campbellsville, Kentucky, the Swartz B&R. Huber Apartments, Bradford Dairy Farm, Kellner Contracting, Newcomb Courier, Wayne's Auto Repair, Schaffner Enterprise, Able Eyes, and then we should have Miles Cook the second, right?
Yes.
Out of Wheelersburg, Ohio, the Swartz LaSalle, LMC Millwright, Hall Snap Auto Parts, Conley Trucking, A1 Overhead Doors, Basil Race Fuels, Farmers Raceway, Afterburner Performance, and Shane Custom Decals, 18C. Rob.
Ted Johnson, 9th quick, 18.408. Miles Cook got in the wall in the first lap. Big improvement. He'll go 4th quick at a 16.837 for him. Jeff Watson, one of the top shoes in Kentucky, 5th quick at a 17.087. So Quaid still up front with Milby and Brenneman.
All right, should be Thomas Baker, Worcester, Ohio, his hometown, with the veteran driver, the Kryptonite Mullins. He's followed by Toma Johnson. He's out of Monticello, Indiana, the Masters build entry. Wells Diesel, TJT Motorsports, Owens Racing Products, AM Mechanical, and my Devon Shields car is in my Lucas Oil 8 models. There he is. He's in a Rocket. Salem Bend, that's a trucking and excavating company. Rally's Hamburgers, Magic Fountain Auto Wash, Centennial Service, Dirt Nerds. You're not on there, are you? The Dirt Nerds podcast?
I don't know if I've
Who's
been
on the
or
Dirt
not.
Nerds podcast, by the way? I need to know that. Dundee Products Tubing, sponsor Devon Shields, regular this year on the Ironman Series. We don't know. All right. Are you okay over there?
We're all right. We're working through some stuff.
We got Thomas Baker, 17.487. Ted Johnson, 18.408. Devon Shields crosses the line. And we have a lap on him.
Yes, 8th quick for
Yep,
him.
thank you.
So the 3 will qualify. 5th quick, good effort for Thomas Baker, 16.978. Toma Johnson, sounds like motor not very happy there. He'll go 11th at 18.404. Devon Shields doing double duty, 17.470 better. He'll go 9th.
All right, Ryan Zook should be up next. The 28Z is out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. The Rocket Jeff Byers Racing Engines entry. Zimmerman Truck Repair, Dryden, Terror Farm. And then Adair Trucking, Zook's Tax Service, and Penske by JDS, followed by the C2. That'll be Corey Delancey. Corey Delancey currently 7th at the Steel Block points. He's out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. The Kryptonite McDonald Racing Engines car. Green Clipper Lawn and Landscaping, Cottrell Motorsports, Poske's Optane, Virginia Driveline and Differential, Capel Automotive, Randy's Tire Shop, Fair Audio Tubes, League Room, Slicker Graphics, Amerimed Medical Waste Solutions, and in the 81, that'll be John Melvin. He's out of Cold Grove, Ohio. Yes.
The 99 should be in this group, I do believe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tyler Riggs,
Yes.
the 99T. New Matamoros, Ohio, the Rocket Mullins Rob. Kroll Energy, Ty Torek Racing, Integrity Paving and Sealing, Application, Oil Field Services, Schaefer's Oil, Burger Riverside Electric, One Shot Pest Control, Kell Lawn and Landscaping, Swift Springs and Stack Products sponsor the 99T of Tyler Riggs.
Oh, he lays a big one down. 16.208, quickest so far here in Group C. Good effort for him. We'll see what Zook does. 5th quick, 16.706 will be his lap of record. A little bit slower for Riggs, but that 16.208 will be his lap. And Delancey, 4th quick, good effort for him, 16.571. So everybody in this group laying down some big times. Riggs, 16.208. Now James will knock Derek Quaid off the top of the chart, 16.215.
So the next 3, as we're getting down near the end of Steel Blocks, qualifying. There's William Rose. He'll be coming out here towards the end, 5th from the end. It should be John Melvin. We mentioned him. He's out of Cold Grove, Ohio, the Black Diamond Power Tech Engines, followed by Skyler Marler in the 257. He's out of Winfield, Tennessee, in the Longhorn Phantom, Superior Drywall, Caton Industrial Painting, Bill Stein, VG Performance, Marler Auto, and in Jace, it's Jace, right?
Jace, yep.
Jace Owens out of Monticello, Indiana, the Boss Chassis, Lester Owens Racing Engine, Owens Racing Products, Hubbard GM Center, Declaration Dental, Wells Diesel, and Hair by Genia. Is it Genia? What do you have on it? Genia. It's Genia, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll go with Genia.
So we've got Cincy earlier, and we've got Hair. Got it all going on here. John Melvin, Skyler Marler, and Jace Owens will be the next 3 here in Steel Block Time Trials. Again in this group, it's Tyler Riggs, 16.208.
I believe
Eric Quaid at 16.215, Zach Milby 16.312, and Corey Delancey at 16.571 as we have.
Marler needed a push from one of the Eldora trucks, so did not get fired until it was on the track. So we had to get the safety truck safely off the track.
Well, Mike Marler, winner of the Jackson 100 last week at Brownstown, Indiana.
I think that was a good win for them.
It was a very good win. Cameron Marler, he's had a good year, and now there's Skyler Marler, and of course their dad David Marler still racing down there around Lake Cumberland Speedway.
Talked about Jace Owens picking up the track championship at Shady Hill, 11 of 13 feature wins. Have you ever been to Shady Hill, James?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I have.
They have to pipe sunshine in that place. It's so far back in the woods there. not too far from my house. But
You'll probably find it this time of year the leaves are about gone.
yeah, picked all the corn. So here we go.
Remember we used to have that promo, there's nothing but corn in Indiana?
Yeah.
Did we have that?
I think they've it's the crossroads of America now. That's the new catchphrase.
Gotcha.
So Melvin's first lap wasn't super sporty. Let's see what he can do on lap number 2. Looks like 19.134 is his lap of record. That'll be 18th for him. Jace Owens 14th, 17.756. And we'll see what Mr. Marlar did. Fourth quick, good effort for him, 16.369. So he'll go fourth in that group as we're getting down to the tail end of Group C here, James. We have, I believe, 6 cars left here.
Jordan Van Hall, right?
Yes.
Van Hall.
Yeah, Van Hall.
Channel, Ontario, Canada, the Rocket Holtry performance engine under the hood for your Auto Care, Lally Kia, Ed Currently Motorsports, Joe's One Stop, Turnkey Media, RPM Designs, and Candid Badger Creations.com. CandidBadgerCreations.com. You got that? William Rose 77. He's out of Scott Depot, West Virginia. The Kryptonite Rose Racing engine entry. Lovely Construction. L&J Real Estate. Marshall OBGYN Clinic. Lisa Burke. That's our first OBGYN sponsor.
I saw that on the pre-entry and I was like, that's a new one.
Burlisle Performance Products. John Brown and Aluminum Stock Car Bodies. CNC Farms. Hoxton Trucking. A1 Custom Graphics, Advanced Auto, Winfield, West Virginia, and Lane Snook from the famous Snook Racing family, Mifflin, PE, the Rocket Jeff Byers, MHT Transport, Dyers, Top Rod, Richie Sandblasting, Juniata Beverage, and Mexico Ridge Beef Farm. Have you ever heard of them?
I have
Brico
not.
Fabrication, sponsor Lane Snook. Snooky.
Trying to snooker the field right now in his qualifying effort. Taking a look through here. Looks like Jordan Van Hall 18th in that 06, 18.024. There's Mr. Snook, 7th quick, 16.676, so a pretty good effort for him. And there was one other one in that group, and I shuffled the papers. And that was William Rose. 9th quick, 16.714.
You got one of his T-shirts.
I
How
did.
Can you forgetting?
Yeah, I know. I was selling them short.
Well, Rocket Bennett, Ariana, Illinois, the Rocket 604, the Tire Lady, RBR Speed Shop, Getty Landscaping, Illini Racing Supply, Atlas Lock, Buick Real Estate, and Better Homes and Garden. Neville Stables, also Derek Rogers, the 23 Spelter, West Virginia, the Rocket Yates, Rogers Brothers Racing, Bear Contracting, Applied Construction Solutions, Ace Hardware of Shinston, Building Hope, Bear Utilities, Amos Paving, and Michael Lefevers, Slicker himself out of Cincinnati, Ohio, the Capital Mullins, Nick's Towing, Harris Distributing Company, Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati, Clark, Slicker Graphics, RFS Lawn and Landscaping, Stack Products, and Burr Industrial Repair. Sponsor Michael Lefevers.
So the final 3 cars to qualify here at the Dirt Track World Championship for the steel block side of things. Looks like it'll be 14th for the 55, the 16-year-old Rucker Bennick, 17.210. Derek Rogers, 13th and 23, 17.206. And Michael Lefevre, 16th, 17.385. So that will bring to a close steel block qualifying here. We'll be back for 6 big heats. But a big congratulations to the driver of the 22, James. That 16.134 was the quickest of the 72 cars on the property.
You want to take a break, brother?
Absolutely.
Do an outro for me, man. I want to hear it.
You would do right now?
Do it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to break here at the Dirt Track World Championship at the Eldora Speedway. Don't go anywhere. Late model qualifying coming up next.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Eldora Speedway, night one of Carl Short's Dirt Track World Championship. James, good timing. All-Star Performance time trials are underway.
The Wilkerson Farms Impact Electrical Services at the Rocket Durham. That'll be Clay Harris out of Jupiter, Florida. The Rocket Dargy for Air Max Motorsports, the Micro Center, Air Max Heating and Cooling, James Rice. And the 89 in Manhattan, Illinois will be Mike Spatola, the Rocket Pro Build, TNS Heating and Cooling. Big Daddy Strap, B&D Chemical, Illinois State Rifle Association, Steve's Performance. Country, Chevrolet, Lake Norman Mechanical 89.
You got it, James Rice, 16.053. Clay Harris, 16274. Opie, 16114 on lap number one. Lap two for Clay Harris, better, 16031. Lap two for James Rice, better. Top of the leaderboard, 15872. And the second lap time for Mike Spatola, also better, but he'll be third, 16075. After three drivers, James Rice has set the bar atop the leaderboard with a 15872.
The next three, it'll be the 11. It'll be Josh Rice. He's out of Verona, Kentucky, the Rick Jones Rocket. Rice Excavating and Plumbing, Senessus Construction, Chain Locker, Air Max Heating and Cooling, Impact Race Gear, Grease Monkey, Sean Fullwood, the crew chief on the 11. It'll be the head of line crew chief 28 of Dennis Erb Jr. He's out of Carpentersville, Illinois. He is in the McBride Mac, Vomac Truck Sales, Fox Shocks, Idea Ready Mix, Kaiser Manufacturing. That is a Rocket Clements, followed by Garrett Alberson out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. The Ken and Beth Roberts Low Voltage Solutions, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Romer Machine and Welding, Orion Tire, New Connect Solution, Dunright TV, Sunoco Race Fuels, Longhorn Clements, currently 6th in the Lucas Oil points for Garrett Alberson.
First lap time for Josh Rice. He trumps his brother, goes to the top of the leaderboard. Garrett Alberson, 4th quick. Dennis Erb Jr., 6th quick. Lap number two, Josh Rice going to bring the 11 off corner number 4. Second lap, even better, 15730, the new time to beat. Second lap for Dennis Erb Jr., not as good. He'll stay 6th. And Garrett Alberson jumps up to 2nd quick. His second lap time is a 15743. After 6 cars, it's Josh Rice, Garrett Alberson, James Rice, your top 3 in Group A. Again, 10 bonus points, James, going to the fastest qualifier in both Group A and Group B here tonight.
Corey Lawler should be up next at 93 out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, completing his first full year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. He is in the Sunoco Race Fuels, Poncho's Racing Products, Riding, Kaufman Auto Clinic, PPC Lubricants, Creekside Auto Sales, All About Wraps, Rocket Pro Power. His dad, Poncho Lawler, the crew chief on 93. Devin Shields, he's of Britain, Michigan, the Rocket Performance Machining Engine. Car is sponsored by Salem Bin, Trucking and Excavating, Rally's Hamburgers, Magic Fountain Auto Wash, Continental Services, Dirt Nerds Podcast, Dundee's Products Tubing, and followed by the 9. That'll be Nick Hoffman. Nick Hoffman is out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The Ty Touring, Longhorn Clements, NOS Energy Drink, C&W Truck, Petrov Towing, Bill Stein, Tri-Valley Equipment, All Guy Performance, Holland Haskell's, and Burlisle Petroleum sponsor Nick Hoffman, 3rd in the Outlaw points.
First lap times going up. Nick Hoffman is going to be 9th quick. Devin Shields is 6th fastest. And here comes the second lap time for Corey Lawler. He'll be 8th quick. Best lap 16658. Devin Shields 6th. Best lap 16355. And Nick Hoffman greatly improves on lap 2. He'll jump up to 3rd with a 15771 in the Ty Touring 9. So he's 3rd. Garrett Alberson 2nd. Josh Rice, the time to beat after 9 cars, 15730.
Johnny Huck up next. John Hodgkiss. He's out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's in the Hodgkiss Lumber, Hodgkiss Construction, Johnny Huck Designs, Decorators Decking, Nigel Auto Solutions. Brian Signs and Decals. That's a Rocket Clements, followed by the 71, the defending Lucas Oil champion. It'll be Hudson O'Neill out of Martinsville, Indiana. He's in the SSI Motorsports, Big River Steel, Willer Metals, Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling, Westside Tractor Sales, Dino Winning, Merrill Bonding Company, Indiana USSSA, Fast Pitch Softball, Bobcat of Batesville, Bob and Tammy Burton, O'Neill Savage, and Paragon Speedway. Number 71, Longhorn Clements, and the 4G out of Camden, Ohio, and his Rocket Vic Hill. It'll be Cody Evans. He's in the Performance Transport, Hensley Logistics, Aces Place Dog Grooming, 4G. It's still Josh Rice, Garrett Alberson, Nick Hoffman here in Group A. We each 1, 2, and 3 here tonight, DJ.
Johnny Huck 9th, Hudson O'Neill 7th, Cody Evans 5th on lap number 1. Lap 2, John Hodgkiss in the 69, not as good, 11th quick, best lap 16628. Hudson O'Neill trips the trigger 6th fastest, his best lap 15977. And Cody Evans, best lap time, 5th quick, 159. 1-9-6-5 after 12 cars. Josh Rice, the time to beat. Look at that youngster, 1-5-7-3-0.
Well, I saw Tim Sheets here from Hellraiser Jack, so maybe we can get him, the young man there, for our Devon Shields there.
Absolutely.
In the maybe we can have the crew chief. Let's have the challenge again, right?
Yes,
Pit
that's
crew
right.
challenge
That's
at
right.
Wheatland next year. By the way, Max Blair will be coming up next. Last year's O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year, currently 9th in the point standings. He's at the Brad Spochas, Centerline Motorsports, Upstate Auto Group, Creekside Auto Sales, C&J Dairy, Murphy's Logging, TLW Transport, Creek Bar and Grill, Little Less Campground, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram of Greenville, Robbie Blair, Kayla McManus on that Longhorn Clements, followed by the 12 at the Lawrenceburg, Indiana, the James Ratliff Longhorn. It'll be Jason Jamison Clements Power under the hood of the JRR Motor Sales, MGL Auto Sales, the Auto Outlet, Keltner Contracting, Brantley Farms, and then Brandon Moore. Is he out there, the 39?
Yes, he is.
He's out of Bryan, Ohio, the Kryptonite, Daryl Hoffman Racing Engine, Eisenhower Racing Services, and DCR Graphics, 39.
You got it. Good stuff for the driver of the number 39. He's 15th quick on lap number 1 for the Fostoria, Ohio native. Max Blair, 5th quick, best lap, 1:5:9:31. Jason Jamison, 8th fastest. His best lap was a 16:006. And Brandon Moore's best lap, good enough for 15th quick, 1:7:192. 15 drivers have attempted a lap in All-Star Performance Time Trials in Group A. Jonathan Davenport watching there on board. Josh Rice, still the time to beat, 1:5:730.
The next three will be the 21B DJ. It'll be Rich Bell. He's out of Sheffield, Illinois, in the Pierce Rhine. Bell's Transmissions, Bell's Exhaust, Reedus and Dorothy Quickle. Also Bivens and Sons Trucking, Randy Hasbrook, Pam, Pat and Jen Rhinebeck.
You got it.
Galv Iron and Metal, Red's Bar and Grill, and Randy Summers, sponsor 21B, followed by Tim McCready, the Mark Richards Racing, Wackett Durham, Valvoline, Swebbert Calf Ranches, Petrov Towing, Franklin Enterprises, Performance Grading, S Metal Work Styles, Marine and Maintenance, Gunners Honey, Fox Shock, Sunoco, Race Fuels 1, and in Dalton Wilson, the James Ratliff, Longhorn Clements, MG Auto Sales, JRR Trucking, the Auto Outlet, Keltner Contracting, Bernard Technologies, Grantley Farms, Innovative Community Solutions, B&L Construction, New Point Lighting, and Worldwide Custom Car Haulers, Longhorn Clements.
Tim McCready to the top of the leaderboard. James 1:5:522. Dalton Wilson 5th quick on lap number 1. Here comes Rich Bell. His second lap better, 17th quick, 1:6:759. Tim McCready 15:522 going to be the time to beat. And Dalton Wilson unable to do it. He'll stay 5th quick. His best lap, a 1:5:826. So Tim McCready, again, mathematically eliminated from the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points title, but he could still possibly get second. And if he stays atop the leaderboard, he'll get 10 bonus points for setting fast time here in Group A.
Yeah, and it's 100,000 for 4th, 150,000 for 2nd. So Carson Ferguson, he'll be up next, the 93 out of Lincoln, North Carolina, the Paler Motorsports, Longhorn Clements, Hupal Grading Company, Brad Benton Truckling, Franklin Enterprises, Triple Electric, ArmsList.com, Coleman Farms, Buddy's Wrecker Service, Baker Plumbing of the Carolinas, Baker Mitchell Company, WP Racing, Shocks 93, Jonathan Davenport, the Lance and Darla Landers, Longhorn Clements, Nutrient Ag Solutions, Donna Grossi, Lucas Oil, Bill Stein, Bobcat Abates, Legacy Warranty, Mark Martin Automotive, Mega Plumbing of the Carolinas, Midway Sheet Metal 49, and the Wayne Hurricane. You see out there Jeff Babcock.
He is.
He is. He's in the Longhorn Cornet, Chalk Sticks, Torsion Bars, CA Customs, Craig Miller Trucking, and LooseStyle.com sponsor the 7B.
Jonathan Davenport, James, 14th quick on lap number 1. He'll try to improve. Jeff Babcock, 13th quick his first time around. Carson Ferguson, 2nd quick, 1:5:704. Here comes Superman Jonathan Davenport trying to dig out of the hole. He does somewhat. He's still 8th, 1:5:908. He won't get 10 bonus points. Jeff Babcock stays 14th, 1:6:073. So, James, we've had 21 drivers attempt a lap in Group A, 10 drivers still left. McCready, the time to beat. Davenport in that championship 4, he's currently 8th quick, 1:5:908.
6 heat races here tonight for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. We'll take the top 3 to the DTWC. Up next will be the 99J. He's out of Dayton, Ohio, to be Donnie Jeske and the Rocket Clements, Wright Brothers Aero, Ohio Electric Services, Duncan Oil, Hinders, Sports Bar and Grill, Bunker Sports Bar and Grill, and Jack and Katie Duffy. Followed by the 95J, the veteran. It'll be the Jedi, Jerry Bowersock, and Wapakoneta, Ohio, the Rocket Clements, Fulton Camps, Frenchtown Trailer Sales, Truman Quarter Horses, TV Tile, North Star Drilling, Banshee Graphics, and Ross Robinson. The Stokely Materials, Rocket Clements, yes, Commonwealth Equipment, Atlantic Prime Mortgage, First Aid Roof and Exterior Cleaning, ML Joseph, Sand and Gravel, Sussex Carpentry, Hard Scrabble, Scott Dosel, The Frozen Farmers, Estate Mortgage, and Wesley Collins Builders, Fast Shaft 7.
Man, you're on fire tonight. You did well. Ross Robinson, 14th quick, 16034. Donnie Jeske, 19th quick, his best lap, 16561. Jerry Bowersock trips the trigger, 17th quick, 16284. And Ross Robinson will be 14th. His best lap was lap 1, a 16034. James, 24 drivers have attempted a lap in Group A. Tim McCready, Carson Ferguson, Josh Rice, the top 3.
Daniel Hilsebeck will be up next, DJ, the 22 car. He comes to us out of Earlham, Iowa. He's at the Hilsebeck Farms, Banning Chiropractic, Big Deal Car Care, RPR Race Graphics, MRZ Motorsports, Adams Snow Removal, that's at Capital Clements, followed by Tanner English out of Benton, Kentucky, the Brett Coltman Farms, Special School of Gwinnett, Bill Stein, C Motors, Custom Automotive, M&M Painting, that's a Longhorn Clements, followed by Ricky Thornton Jr., the current points leader out of Martinsville, Indiana, the Bobby and Jessica Kohler, that's a Longhorn Cornet, Capital Waste, Traffic Control Safety Systems, Ultimate Towing and Recovery, Ultimate Motorsports Park, Coleman Farms, Hoker Trucking, the Outside Services, Rogers Realty, 5-star metal buildings, looking for those 10 bonus points for fast time.
Hilsebeck, 18th quick on lap number 1. Tanner English, 20th quick, his first time around. RTJ, second quick. James, 15577 for the current series points leader. Daniel Hilsebeck, second lap time a little better. He'll be 18th right now, 16121. Tanner English's second lap better, 16th, 16035. And Ricky Thornton Jr. does not get fast time. He'll be second, 15577 for the 20 RT. James, just 4 drivers left to go here in All-Star Performance Time Trials Group
He threw
A.
it in there, didn't he?
He sent it, baby.
Threw that
Sent
baby in there. It almost stuck.
Just send it.
McCready, Thornton, Ferguson, Rice, your top 4. It'll be the current at the front points leader. It'll be Brandon Overton. He's out of Evans, Georgia. He is in the Wells & Sons. That's the Infinity by Wells Clements. Carnto Southern, Big Dog Stump and Tree, Boswell, RW Powell Construction, Hurst Construction, All-Star Concrete, Dirt Mafia, Convenient Loop, Coltman Farms, Muscle Factory, Clint Keenan, the 29, Pataskil, Ohio, on the Kryptonite, Keenan Concrete, DeVoe Construction, Aquatic Creations, and the 74X Ethan Dotson, the SD Motorsports, SRI Performance, Torco, American Racing Pro Series. That is a Longhorn Clements 74X.
Brandon Overton, good lap. James, he'll be third fastest on lap number 1. And we got a Dave Warren Power Sports caution on the Speedway as Clint Keenan has caught the wall. In the number 29, there you see, man, a ton of damage on that race car right front, not pointed in the direction you want that to be pointed on the straightaway. So the Pataskala, Ohio driver will fall to the infield in that Kryptonite Vision race car. Let's take a look at the FloRacing Instant Replay and see what happened to Clint Keenan right there.
One of those weekend warrior type of drivers. You never know where he's going to show up. We had, the flip down at Florence, got hooked up on the berm, and damage here at Eldora. So, did they get a lap in, those 3?
A couple of them did. Ben, down to you.
Hey, and they're picking debris up on the front straightaway. Real quick, Randy Weaver, you saw what happened to Jonathan Davenport, and a lot of other guys are battling that as well. What happened on his first qualifying lap?
Yeah, just getting in turn 1 where earlier everybody used so much brakes trying to get turned when the track was real tacky. It's dug out a little bit of a hole there, and a lot of guys that's turned fast times have got right sides above it. Jonathan hit it dead in center, and it just bottomed out and pushed. And I thought he's in the wall, but man, it's going to be something to watch him come up through there tonight.
So right now, DJ, if we do heats 1, 2, and 3, McCready, Thornton, and Overton will be on the pole, right, of their heat races?
That is correct, yeah.
So the outside front row of heat 1 would be Carson Ferguson, heat 2 would be Josh Rice, and heat 3 would be Garrett Alberson. So we still got Overton, Keenan will not qualify, Dotson, and then Kyle Bronson.
And Bronson has made his way on the track, James, so he's going to join these other drivers on the track, which will leave us just one guy left here in Group A.
So where would Davenport start in his heat race? Thornton would start in the pole of heat 2. We know that. Not yet. It's unofficial until we've got 4 more to qualify.
Right.
3 more to qualify.
Right now, he'd start 4th in the first heat.
Yeah, right now he is 10th, yes.
Right. Very good. Thank you. So the winner of Heat 1 tonight, again, will be in the Victory Fuel Pole, DJ, here for tomorrow night. McCready has never won this race. Cornthorpe won it a few years ago.
Yeah.
And but McCready has never won this race. Oh, and the list, I mean, it's a list of Hall of Famers. Obviously, some of the all-time greats who've won it. I mean, the list of Hall of Famers, some of the all-time greats have won this race. But, I mean, there's a list of future Hall of Famers that have never
Jonathan
won the DTs.
Davenport.
Yeah.
Jonathan Davenport's never
Only
won the dirt
5
track.
here that have ever won it. There you see David Brazil, the new look for his car. First time here in 10 years.
How about that, Ben?
The Raging Rebel been
Yeah, I was going to touch on that real quick.
Yeah.
Last time he was here was with Randy Thompson in 2014. He said it was so bad, nobody remembered I was here, and I wish I had not been. He said, that was really bad, but good to see him back here, guys. Qualifying back underway.
He's back here. The final 3 here in Group A will be heats 1, 2, and 3. It'll be Brandon Overton, Ethan Dotson, and Kyle Bronson. The time to beat is 15.522 by Tim McCready.
Indeed it is. Here we go. Again, they pull Kyle Bronson back out there. He still has, obviously, 2 full laps. Ethan Dotson, 3rd quick. James, 1.5638. Kyle Bronson, 12th quick, 1.5928. Brandon Overton, his best lap, good enough for 4th quick, 1.5645. Here comes Ethan Dotson. 2nd lap is better, not good enough. 3rd quick, 1.5598. And Kyle Bronson jumps up to 8th quick, 1.5754. So we got everyone has attempted a lap in Group A. Very, very unofficial, but it looks like T-Mac Tim McCready will be the quickest driver in All-Star Performance Time Trials in Group A. If that holds up, he will get 10 bonus points. Again, he's mathematically eliminated from winning the championship, but
still running for good money, man.
He's running for good money, and
Very
he
good money.
still does have a chance for 2nd or 3rd in the championship as well. So Ricky Thornton Jr. was 2nd quick. He does not get 10 bonus points towards the championship, but if that time holds up, he will get the opportunity to start on the pole of heat race number 2. Ethan Dotson, 3rd quick in the 74. You see the rest of the top 10 there on your screen. James, worth noting, Jonathan Davenport was 12th fastest in Group A.
Guys, also worth noting there, and Randy Weaver and I talked about it earlier, Ethan Dotson has really picked up steam as the year's gone on. He just broke Scott Bloomquist's track record down at Magnolia Motor Speedway, and then he picked up the biggest win of his career the next night down at the Cotton Pick in a $20,000 payday. And Randy, he's definitely going to be one to watch this weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely coming down the modified ranks like we talked about. And, man, I watched him at Talladega short tracks a couple of weeks ago. And first night he put on a show and won that thing, dominated. So every time you go around our area, you're starting to see the 74 up front.
All right, well, Group B. And the only driver in those final 4, Devin Moran, he will come up first. Then you got to wait through about 30 other cars, right?
That's right.
To see if that holds up. He's in the 99 car, tied for 2nd in the points. He's in the Roger Sellers, Double Down Motorsports, Longhorn Clements, Big River Steel, Lazy Days RV, iBox Springs, C&W Trucking, McHugh Chrysler, Dodge Jeep, Car Source Auto, Holland Haskell, Smoky Mountain Speedway, Red Oak Pub, Lincoln Smith Racing, and Pee Wee's, yes, Pee Wee's Record Service. Go ahead.
Did you buy a 50-50 ticket yet?
No, I have not. We
Nope.
are at 6,009.
Let's call it 7.
Okay, call it 7.
$7,000. They are available on the grounds and also online anywhere in the state of Ohio at Eldora5050.com.
Tristan Chamberlain makes his way onto the track, the 20TC out of Richmond, Indiana, the Gibson Motorsports, Infinity Spec, Vision Woodworks, Keg Sewer Nozzles, Pardo's Towing, followed by the number 1. It'll be Tyler about New Waverly, Texas, the Eric and Kelly Brock Best Performance, Rocket Clements.
Well, you only have one. You've got Tristan Chamberlain.
We only have one. It's Tristan Chamberlain, the 20TC.
And yeah, I was going to say, I was just double checking to make sure. According to what I have, he is in Group B. I thought maybe there would be one car left over from Group A. There indeed is not, so he is the first driver in All-Star Performance Time Trials in Group B. And on top of all of that, it is not picking up on the electronic timing and scoring that we have directly in front of us. That is not to say that it doesn't go directly to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, which is usually the case, but we do not have that time directly in front of us. So the former World 100 Rookie of the Year, Tristan Chamberlain, and now we'll bring out the next trio of drivers, James.
Devin Moran, Tyler, the number 1. He is out there. He's in the Roberts B Company. First class septic, bulk material lift, Anthony's Pizza, Santa Weld, Langenfelder Mechanical, Rocket Clements, followed by Freddie Carpenter. Is Freddie out there? Yes, he is the C4, the Kryptonite Pro Power, Harris Walmsley Enterprises. Also Steve Rowland Enterprises, Boston's. Yes, what?
Go ahead. You're good. Just keep talking.
People's Bank, Octane Race Products, Stellar Motorsports, Kaiser Manufacturing, C4.
All right, well, waiting once again for the electronic timing and scoring to update in front of us. And as you see, those 3 drivers take a lap around this racetrack, and you can always tell if it is not in front of us because we use the same app that you at home use, which is My Race Pass. And that's not to say it's a fault on My Race Pass. It just means that it's not populating in front of us. And right on cue, there it is, Devin Moran. It has the time to beat early on here in Group B with a 1.5863. Tristan Chamberlain second, Tyler Erb third, and Freddie Carpenter fourth. Question is, can Devin Moran hang on, like you said, James, through 30 drivers, pick up 10 bonus points?
All right, it'll be Zach Mitchell, Innery, South Carolina, his hometown. The Longhorn Vic Hill, Coleman Farm, Special Needs School of Gwinnett, Bill Stein Shocks, followed by the 114. It'll be Jordan Kohler. He's out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. The Longhorn, Cornett, Capital Waste, Traffic and Control Safety Services, Ultimate Towing and Recovery, Ultimate Motorsports and RV Park, Rogers Realty, and 5-Star Metal Buildings. Followed by the 18, the Week 1 Missile, 2-time DTWC winner to be Shannon Babb, the Steve Lankley. Category 5, Durham AC Warranty, Midwest Excavating, Mark Martin Automotive, Franklin Enterprises, Dynagrow Seed, number 18.
I'm working hard I am exploring all avenues here to possibly get live timing.
Zach Mitchell, 15.
Oh, there it is,
6,
Zach
7,
Mitchell.
7,
There you go. Look at that, Jordan Kohler. Hey, right there in front of me.
If it had been a snake, it'd bit you.
It would have bit me. Shannon Babb, seventh quick, second lap times. Now going up, Zach Mitchell not as good. Jordan Kohler not as good. Shannon Babb stays 7th quick, so Zach Mitchell lays down the early time to beat in Group B. James with a 1.5559.
So Moran will not get 10 bonus points. So he's the only remaining of the 4. So he is 3rd right now. So it's Zach Mitchell in the Coleman Farms 57. It should be Tyler Carpenter, 2-time Gateway Dirt National winners, up next to the Parkersburg, West Virginia, the Kryptonite. State Line Construction, Parkersburg Plumbing Supplies, Holder Construction. Graphic Creations 20, followed by the 157, the Jackson, the 100 winner last week. It'll be Mike Marlowe to Winfield, Tennessee. The Skyline Motorsports, Longhorn Clements, Truck Country, Mississippi Valley Transportation. Olson Explosive, Petro Towing, Brenning Rock Products, Brown's Heavy Equipment, Candem Auto Salvage, Brennan Explosives, and number 157. Trying to get his first crown jewel victory at Eldora to be Mike Marlowe trying to get his first crown jewel victory. This guy's won before. Dale McDowell, Chickamauga, Georgia, the Shane McDowell, Team Zero by McDowell, Clements, Easy Go, Klutz Synthetic Lubricants, Kinetic Gasket, Connected Strategy, BlackRock Enterprises, BSI Will Service, SN8 Systems, Northeastern Fabrication, 17 MDJ.
Mike Marler, 3rd quick. Dale McDowell, 5th fastest. Tyler Carpenter, 10th on lap number 1. Lap number 2 does not appear to be better. Now it is 1.6239. Mike Marler, 3rd quick, 1.5629, and Dale McDowell, he'll jump up to 4th fastest with a 1.5.824. After 10 cars, it's Zach Mitchell, the time to beat in Group B, 15.559.
Up next to be the 54 to be the Raging Rebel, Four Corners, Mississippi for David Brazil. He's in the Rocket J. Dickens, David Brazil logging, James Johnson logging, J.M. Performance, Bo Satellite, Thicket Legacy Apparel, Coondog Academy 54, the 19R, Todd Cooney Motorsports entry of Ryan Gustin, the Reaper out of Marshalltown, Iowa, the J. Dickens Power Plant, Allen Seamless Gutters, Carl Chevrolet, VP Fuels by Harlan, Made Properties, Bernie Farms, followed by the 20. It'll be Jimmy Owens, former DTWC winner, Newport, Tennessee. The Bobby and Jessica Kohler, that's a Rocket Vic Hill. Responding McCompany, Ultimate Towing and Recovery, Tim Short Auto Group, Cheap Cars. Capital Electric, the Tennessee Boom Test Wheel Service, Redline Oil, Sunoco, Goodrich Lewis, and 5-Star Metal Buildings, 20.
We're going to see if any of these drivers break into the top 10. The timing you see on the left side of your screen is exactly what we have to look at for the time being. There's Ryan Gustin. He goes 4th fastest on lap number 1. David Brazil is 13th quick. And Jimmy Owens is 7th, and it looks like we'll see what Owens does here on lap number 2. All three are going to hold those same spots their second time around. So after 13 cars and all-star performance time trials in Group B, it's still Zach Mitchell, James, the time to beat with a 15.559.
And the next three will be the 28B out of New London, North Carolina. Randall Edwards turning the wrenches on that Longhorn Vic Hill for Carson Brown in the Pay Cafe Sunoco Race Fuels. Maximum Racing Rules, Bill Stein Shocks, followed by the 17. He'll be this year's O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year in the Lucas Oil Series. Heinemann PA for the 19-year-old Drake Troutman. The DTR Motorsports, Longhorn J. Dickens, RFI Resources, Wheeler Fleet Solutions. Sunoco, Bill Stein, Stone Natural Resources, Jerry Siding, Roofing and Windows, Certainty, Smith Warehouse, Coleman Farms, Thunderhill Trucking, Morocco Welding, Shoes, Diesel, Schaefer Construction, Glassmere, and the Bobby Pierce, the World 100 winner. And the Churchill Transport, Low Voltage Solutions, Hoker Trucking, Toyota Danville, Messiah Valley Transportation, Rio Grande Waste, Collins Brothers Towing, A-Plus Vac, and Leka Tree Service. That's a Longhorn Vic Hill 32.
Carson Brown is 12th. Drake Troutman is 7th. Bobby Pierce 11th after lap number 1. Lap 2, Carson Brown 13th, 1.6206 his best lap. Drake Troutman's best lap, 7th quick, 1.5919. And Bobby Pierce, your World 100 champ, trips the trigger on lap number 2. He'll jump up to 7th quick, 1.5899. Zach Mitchell, Jordan Kohler, Mike Marlar right now the top 3. Devin Moran in that championship 4, currently 6th quick after 15 cars.
The next three, it'll be the veteran Brian Ruhlman. He'll be on the pole of the modified feature coming up here later tonight. He's in Clark Lake, Michigan. The Rocket by Ruhlman Rhine, Ted Brown's Quality Paint and Body Shop. Ruhlman Enterprises, Superior Industrial Supply, followed by the W1 out of Great Shot, Ohio. It'll be Corey Workman. He's in the Kryptonite, Russell Baker Racing Engines, Entry Weekly Electric, McWilliams Mechanical. Freddie's in SFP Performance Systems, Zimba Brothers Companies, Sands Decker, Scarlet Eagle Powder Coating. Also, that's the W1. It's Corey Hitchcock. He's out there, the 23. Last weekend's Butterball, Wooldridge Memorial Winter, Richmond, Kentucky. Loudon, Tennessee, the BMF Eagle. Georgia Mountain Pool Company, Kaiser, Current Construction, SMP Performance, Service Transport, and Vineyard Enterprise, Framing, Masonry, and Roofing, 23.
Very good job. Brian Ruhlman will be 17th quick on lap number 1. Corey Workman, 18th quick, his first time around. Corey Hedgecock, 13th fastest. Second lap time for Brian Ruhlman, stays 18th best lap, 16.597. Corey Workman's best lap, 19th quick, 17.160. And the best lap time for Corey Hedgecock, he jumps up to 6th, James, 15.840. That also bumps Championship 4 driver Devin Moran to 7th, which means he will not start on the front row of his heat race later on this evening.
Hedgecock 6th in the World 100 here last month. Up next will be 11K. It'll be Evan Kohler. He is out of Mount Airy, North Carolina. The Longhorn Vic Hill, Capital Waste Traffic Control Safety Services, Ultimate Towing and Recovery, Ultimate Motorsports and RV Park, Rogers Realty and Auction, 5-star metal buildings, followed by the B5. Your defending dirt track world champion, looking for a record 6th victory here tomorrow night. He's in the Shepherd Riggs Longhorn Vic Hill. It'll be Brandon Shepherd. He is in the Dude Wipes, Valvoline, Coleman Farms, I-Beam Siding Doors, UNOH, Messiah Valley Transportation, Sunoco, Bill Stein, B5, and the 88 at Flemington, West Virginia, Chad Green. He's in the Longhorn Pro Power, Next Level Heating and Cooling, Harris Walmsley Enterprises, and Legendary Transport, number 88. They're shooting for 15.559 by Emery, South Carolina's Zach Mitchell.
So I got the My Race Pass app updated here in front of me. That is the good news. The bad news, it's showing everybody that is qualified, including Group A. So for Brandon Shepherd, 15.989. Chad Green and Evan Kohler both crossed the stripe. That lap time for Brandon Shepherd, good enough for 13th quick thus far in Group B. And you saw he just scrubbed off a little bit of speed on lap number 2, so he won't improve. He stays 13th, 1.5989. Second lap time for Chad Green and Evan Kohler. They do not improve either. Chad Green will be 21st quick, 1.7031. Evan Kohler just in front of him, 20th quick, 1.6776. And Zach Mitchell, after 22 cars, still has the time to beat James, 1.5559.
And Dustin Tim McCready still the fastest overall at 15.522. Garrett Smith, he won the DTWC in 2022. He's out of Edenton, Georgia. He's in the Scott Smith Entry, Vic Hill Power Plant, under the hood of that terminal maintenance and construction, Atlanta Paving and Concrete, Senior Life Insurance Company, the world's famous Cadillac Ranch, Go Lithium. Into the wall, damage on the 10, caution is out.
Yeah.
Dave Warren Power Sports caution for Garrett Smith. Did not even take the green flag, and he's got some serious work to do on that car.
Yeah, he absolutely does, as he pegged the outside wall in that number 10. That's a tough break for the former dirt track world champion in the 10. We'll take a look here momentarily at the FloRacing instant replay. Among the drivers in the championship 4, James, that were in Group A, of course, Tim McCready was the fastest. He'll get 10 bonus points. He will start on the pole of Heat 1. Ricky Thornton Jr. will start on the pole of Heat Race number 2. Jonathan Davenport will start 4th in Heat Race number 3.
All right, DJ 17 SS. We'll go to Brendan Smith, completing his first full year in the Lucas Oil Series. Deshaun Smith, Rocket Durham out of Dade City, Florida. The Total Claim Source, Big Daddy's Cattle, Chip Casino Trucking, Plum Crazy Plumbing, Guarding Hurricane Protection, Skipper Smokehouse. Rob Anderzak, the veteran at Connery out of Swanton, Ohio, the Longhorn Gressman. No, Mason Ziegler, I'm sorry.
Yes,
the 25Z Ziggy. He's in the Rocket Clements, Green Lane, Roy's Body Shop, RBS Auto and Trailer Sales, BX Logistics, Fox Shocks, JL Industries, 25Z.
And a good first lap for Ziggy. 4th quick. Second lap time, not as good. He'll stay 4th, 1.5678. Brendan Smith going to trip the trigger. His second lap better, 1.6253. And he will be 19th. Let's take a look and see what happened to Garrett Smith just a moment ago, as he grabbed a handful of concrete down in turns 3 and 4 in the 10.
It just pushed up the track into the wall, so the Scott Smith-owned car. So we've got 5 to go. There's Rob Anderzak in the 8 car. Swanton, Ohio, the APC Motorsports, 10 Mile Creek, Dipman Motorsports, Tri-County Tire. That's a Longhorn Gressman. He will be followed by the 99B. It'll be Rick Boom Briggs. Boom Briggs. Out of Bear Lake, Pennsylvania, the Dave Warren Power Sports, XS Storage, Trans 58, Briggs Transport, Tucker Drums, Brenda's Place, Corey Rubber Corporation, Meridian Hardwood, Stanton Mobile Home Sales, Rocket Clements, and then it's Zach Dome. He's in the Dome Cycle Sales, Tim Schwartz out of Group Way, Floor Covering Poskies, Veronica Dome Photography, Graphic Creations, Longhorn Vic Hill for the Z&T Racing 17D.
Good stuff. Rob Anderzak comes across. Boom Briggs, his first lap. And Zach Dome as well, as they come around for their second and final lap times. Rob Anderzak in the 8th, best lap, 1.7307. That's 27th quick. Best lap time for Boom Briggs, 1.5947. He is 13th, and Zach Dome's best lap is a 1.5973. He will be 15th. We've got, is that everyone?
No, we should. Well, we've got 2 to go.
2, okay.
We're 15K
Will
car,
with 1L.
Will with 1L Harrington out of Hawkinsville, Georgia, the Bruce Kane Racing Rocket. All About Doors, Anthony's Pizza, Fox Factory, All About Wraps, Jerry Siding, Roofing and Windows. And the final qualifier in that Longhorn. What a last half of the year he has had. That'll be Chatham, Illinois, the Squirrel, Brian Shirley, Bob and Lisa Colin, Longhorn, Durham, Thomas and Express, Oker Trucking, Fox Shocks, All Geyer Performance Parts, J&J Ventures Gaming, KBC Graphics, Ricky Lemon Motorsports, Caden Cam Ludwig. Crew chief on that 3S, second at Knoxville to Bobby Pierce.
All right, Zach Mitchell, 1.5559. The time to beat. Will Harrington, 16.300. Brian Shirley, good lap, 15.999 for Brian Shirley on lap number 1. That is good enough for, I think, 16th quick, 17th quick. Second lap time for Will Harrington, not as good. He stays 16.300. He is 23rd fastest. Brian Shirley picks it up on lap 2, James. 15.752. That is good enough for 6th fastest. And
that's important.
Yes, that'll put him on the outside front row of heat race number 6 if that time holds up. And that is unofficially a wrap on All-Star Performance Time Trials Group B. Nobody in the championship. Well, Devin Moran was the only one in the Big Four there to qualify in that group, and he was not fast time. Instead, it's going to be Zach Mitchell with a 1.559.
But that's not fastest overall, is it?
It is not the fastest overall. T-Mac Tim McCready with a 1.5.522. And that driver is on the Eldora victory stage with our very own Ben Shelton.
Well, Tim McCready, you come out, man, with a really fast race car here tonight. You've won a lot of big races. You won a lot of big races here at Eldora. But to go after your first Dirt Track World Championship, what would that mean here this weekend?
I mean, it'd mean a lot. It's like we were saying earlier in the press conference, I'm like JD, this is one of the ones I haven't been able to check off my list, and I've been like him. I've been leading a few times over at Portsmouth and other places, and it hasn't worked out. So it's a good start for Rocket One and the entire XR 1.2. Hopefully we can parlay that into a heat win and get us up front for the feature.
I mean, additionally, yeah, the other guy's got a hell bit of bad luck. You can't get to the championship, but you could get to second or third in this still. So in addition to $100,000 on the line tomorrow night, you're still on the line for a lot of points money. And hey, man, no less than $100,000 for fourth in points. What's the mindset of the team as you look into the rest of the weekend?
I mean, we went to every race in this chase, knowing what we're up against, knowing that maybe we didn't have the most consistency comparable to the other three, and I also knew what I did. I mean, it's a big ask to switch engine programs, shock programs, and car programs, and I owe a lot of thanks to Mark and Steve Baker and everybody at Rocket, because they made my job a little easier than it probably looked some nights, and all in all, it's been a positive year. It's nowhere where we want to be, but right now we're looking forward, and hopefully we can put this thing in victory lane.
Tim McCready, tonight's all-star performance, fast qualifier. He'll get 10 bonus points for that. Guys, he is fourth in the Big River Steel Chase for the championship presented by AARP. And earlier today, I caught up with Scott Coleman from Big River Steel to talk about not only this year, but 2025. Scott Coleman with Big River Steel, you have become synonymous with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. We're here at Eldora. We're going to have another great Dirt Track World Championship. We're going to crown another Lucas Oil champion. While this season's not over, you guys are already planning for next year. Talk about the exciting news with Big River Steel and the Lucas Oil Series.
Yeah, we renewed our involvement with the Lucas Oil Series for next year in 2025, so we're excited about that. Again, we get great employee involvement, family involvement, so it's just been a great relationship, and you heard all the announcements today, how it's just elevated. So great partners with the Lucas Oil Series, and we're excited.
The excitement of this weekend, 3 drivers going after the title. Of course, one of those has the Big River Steel logo on the side of the car. How exciting is it for you and the team to be here?
It's exciting. I mean, these 4 guys and these 4 teams and car owners, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize what a grind it is going up and down the road every week for weeks on end. And this is the culmination of all of it at Eldora Speedway, and we would have only dreamed of that 5-6 years ago. So we're excited.
A lot of excitement, a great marketing partner, BigRiverSteel.com, and hey, we're going to crown a champion here this weekend at Eldora.
Welcome back to Eldora Speedways. Thank you to Scott Coleman for all that he does for Dirt Track Racing, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Again, they will be back next year in 2025. Rob announced earlier at the press conference the schedule release for 2025, and again a record payoff, $1.3 million next year. The champion will get $250,000, second place $200,000, third place $150,000, fourth $125,000, fifth place in the points next year $100,000. We're going to do 15 spots, and we still also will have the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year next year, and we've had some interest in that already. That again will pay $20,000 to win. So Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the way to go, brother. If you're a dirt late model car owner, driver, and a lot of good stuff there. To thanks to everybody involved with that. As we have the drivers, the 24 cars locked into the show, I guess we'll do 12 and 12 in this first group of hot laps. Rob.
Yep, so these are the guys that qualified through the heats in B mains. It looks like maybe we'll go 3 sessions of 8 here. So taking a look at Dylan Woodling.
That is 24, right?
The big screen in the 3 car. The Warsaw, Indiana racer. He will be scheduled to roll off from that 18th spot. Familiar face in the late model scene, going back to the modified here this weekend. Adam Stricker in the 35C. His third start in the modified. Good night for Dalton Smith last night, James. At 0-5, the Richmond, Indiana youngster will roll off P5 in that 25-lap affair, paying $5,000 to win. The 88th veteran, Scott Orr, the second winningest driver here in the modifieds. Had to get the elbows up in the B to get in the show. Saw him and his brother a little bit earlier today. They were tuning on their piece. There is the 20 of Brian Skaggs, the Petro, Ohio racer. He'll start 17th. There's the Jedi, Jerry Bowersock. Won the B main last night. He'll roll off 21st here this evening. So Stricker, James, 17. Evan Taylor, who won his heat, also laid down a big lap, 17.829. James, the quickest of those 8, then Stricker, Woodling, or Taylor, Skaggs, Bowersack, and Smith. The big thing is these guys just seeing the track for the first time, shaking it down, and making sure everything is copacetic for their 25-lap event. And everybody kept it off the concrete start, so that's a good start for these first 8. So Group 2 getting ready to roll out onto the racetrack just a few minutes away from opening ceremonies. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight at the Eldora Speedway. And for those tuned in at home at Flo, driver doing double duty. He's going to wrap up that Rookie of the Year crown for Lucas Oil, and he will drive the modified. Drake Troutman in the 5T will roll off 13th in the main event here this evening. So very talented youngster. James cut his teeth in the modifieds, as we see a lot of the guys and youngsters move up from the mods.
Yeah. 20,000 plus 10,000 in contingencies. Plus he's 11th in the points. He could possibly get to 10th. And he has never tried to attempt the Dirt Track World Championship, so we can do. And very talented. A lot of great young talent in dirt late model racing for years to come. A lot of great talent in the modifieds. There's the veteran Shane O'Connor out of Lima, Ohio.
Right behind him should be Jeremy Rayburn in the 12W. And I tell you what, the kid that impressed me a lot, Crossville, Tennessee's Colton Profit in the 56 picked up a heat race win. James, he'll roll off 3rd in the Dirt Track World Championship. So we got to Ben Randy's here to see if he knows a little bit about that kid.
We got to do that. Colton Profit, a good year for him. Rob, the 2024 Cumberland Plateau Open Wheel Modified Series champion.
So getting up to speed here. Some of the other guys in this one. Greg Spike Moore in the 8W. His first ever visit to Eldora, James. Never even seen the place before he rolled in here yesterday. Of course, the 35, that's David Strimmy. As he'll roll off 7th. And we've got some problems. Yellow here.
Yeah, James, talking about Colton Profit from Crossville. This kid started out in, I think, front wheel drives, and he won so many races they made him bump up to the pro front wheel drives, and then he won so many there they finally just moved him up to street stock because, you know, you couldn't handle that at a young age. And he finally outrun everybody on that, and they protest him about every week. He finally just jumped on up and got into a crate car, and I went to Crossville one night driving for a guy, and I look over, and this kid's on the pole. I'm outside the pole.
How old is he, by the way?
I think Colton now is probably 19, 20, maybe.
So you see possibly a super late model career in the future.
Well, he drove some super late model stuff for Ronnie White before, and kind of tried it out, and of course he done really good in that too. But now he's hooked up with this Halo racing team, and man, I'm telling you, he surprised a lot of people going to a lot of places he's never been, and then now in a modified, and he's won several races this year also. So good family, good group of guys, and just out having some fun and seeing where it ends up.
I'll tell you what, Randy, a lot to be proud of there.
He gives us all they need to know. There's the lethal man right there. That is David Strimmy, formerly out of South Bend, Indiana. Now living in Mifflintown, PA, just north there of Port Royal. By the way, Colton Profit's going to start 3rd in the 25-lap A main. And then again, Brian Ruhlman, Evan Taylor will be your front row tonight.
So, James, we saw the racetrack was pretty juiced up last night. It was very entertaining. It's a little bit slower here tonight. So, be interesting to see who that track condition plays into whose hands here. As Troutman now goes 4th quick. We talk about Kyle Hammer, the Illinois second-generation racer. And Profit now goes right to P1 in warm-ups, James. Look at that. So, continues to be impressive here at Eldora. Kyle Hammer now 2nd. Greg Spike Moore, 3rd spot here so far. Dylan Nussbaum. It's his birthday today, James. So the driver of the 17 in will start 4th. Yeah, Nussbaum.
You're close. I mean, it's pronounced either way. I've heard several times, but he prefers Nussbaum.
Sometimes I call him Nussbaum. Just depends on how the day's gone. So
you may call him a feature winner tonight. You may be interviewing here later on tonight.
I tell you what, they will party deep into the night in Warsaw if that happens. So
All right, another group onto the track should be the final group. Then we'll have our pre-race ceremonies here on this Friday night at Eldora. Again, thanks everyone for joining us. Hey, if you're watching, come on out. Beautiful day tomorrow. Big day of racing. Tomorrow evening, we'll have the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series B mains. We'll have the Jim Dunn Memorial. That'll pay $3K to win. And then the Dirt Track World Championship. We'll have the Steel Block, $5,000 to win A main as well. Here tomorrow night. There is the 18 car. That is Ryan Suter. Now the promoter at Montpelier Raceway Park, Milkman Promotions.
Yes, Milkman Promotions.
He
Splitting
is
his
out
time
of
behind the wheel.
yes, Coldwater, Ohio. There's the 16 car, former track champion here, Jeff Kaz. Jeff Kaz in car 16. He comes to us out of Lime, Ohio.